Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Montreal. This weekend, the Fordham Rams travel north of the border to embark on the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec. A three-game series for the Rams starts on this Black Friday. Rams' first opponent abroad, D2's Franklin Pierce Ravens. The Ravens sit at a 2-2 record to start this year, as there's been ebbs and flows to their team's start to the season. Some of the highest level competition the Ravens will see all season. Franklin Pierce wants to make a statement. Coach Ruan's team likes to play fast and get to the rim, two of the major keys coming up against a competitor the size of Fordham. In their head coach's first 3 years at the helm, their team's averaging just over 78 possessions a game in the up-tempo offense. For Fordham, after a disappointing and close defeat on the road at Iona, the Rams have since won 2 straight by a combined 50 points. Day-Day Reeves leads the Rams, like advertised in the offseason, with 16 points per game and almost 2 steals per game. The preseason All-A-10 selection will try to continue his great start to his Rams career. It's the Franklin Pierce Ravens and the Rams of Fordham, and it's next from the Northern Classic in Montreal on WFUV Sports. Coach, coming into the Northern Classic here in Montreal, what's the importance of this challenge for your group?
Yeah, I think you just get a good look at what it feels like to be in a 3-game tournament, which is what hopefully we'll be walking into in the Atlantic 10 conference in Pittsburgh. The other parts of it are just that this is a hockey arena, a lot like we'll be playing in come March, and so there's a lot of parallels, and you try to learn from it, grow from it, and try to go through your processes and get these guys through where they're feeling comfortable over a 3-day period.
Obviously, it's a unique challenge for players to play in 3 games in 3 days, but it's a unique challenge for coaches as well. What has the past week looked like, balancing the holidays, the travel, and of course preparing for 3 games in 3 days?
Yeah, well, we try to get fresh, try to get healthy. I think, funny enough, we're banged up a little bit still, and guys are like fighting colds and whatnot. But we also had a good week of just coming together. You know, had a Thanksgiving meal at my house. The whole team was there. Had another one here in the hotel last night. So just forming stronger relationships. I think that was important in this 8-day stretch, and finding some good practices in there. And I thought the guys put some purposeful work in the last 7 days, and hopefully we're ready to roll tonight.
And now with that hindsight, a week out of that LIU game, maybe your best performance from your group so far. What do you take away from that one going into the rest of your season?
I think that's what it looks like. So, you know, the poor game we played earlier, that was like, well, that didn't look like us. And then the LIU game, that's what it looks like, you know, to put together a defensive performance like that. And that one was more protect the paint, scout, and get back in transition. Did the job there, and then pound the paint on the offensive side, and we out-rebounded them by a lot. So just to show that we can execute a game plan at a high level against a very good team.
And speaking of that, the scout, tonight it looks like a team that plays really fast, 92nd percentile in D2, and also that loves to get inside. What's the scouting been like for this group? Really
similar, actually, to the llast game, and that, like, over 70% of their points come from 2. They are playing fast. They're athletic, slashy. You know, go out. They want to score. They got a lot of guys that want to score, including their 2 guards, number 4 and number 2, Williams and Parker, respectively. So very similar to the last game, and so hopefully we got to get back in transition, but we also got to punish them in the paint on the offensive side. Punish them in the paint, get the ball inside, attacking the paint by the dribble, and also crushing them on the offensive glass, hopefully.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Coach
guys.
Magpio, moments before Franklin Pierce and Fordham from Quebec, Montreal. We'll be right back with you with Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports. Taking you live from the Northern Classic in Montreal, Quebec. Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Joe Henry. Joe, Fordham going into a 3-game set here in Canada. A great opportunity for the young regime of Coach Mike Magpio.
No doubt about it, Chris. A pleasure as always. It's a great opportunity for a couple of reasons. It's feast week. People are watching. It's an opportunity to prove yourself. Yes, you get to be a part of the renewal of this event. It's the 3rd Northern Classic, but coming back after a year hiatus, in Fordham among a 5-team field, looking to do something that only one team has ever done before. That's go 3-0 on the weekend. Now, 3 games in 3 days, that's a tall task no matter who you're playing, but these guys see it as a preview of the A-10 tournament where, should they make a run in March, they'll be playing back-to-back back-to-back. So you're seeing how your conditioning holds up, how much of the scouting report you can soak up between games, how you can compartmentalize between games. A lot of experiences that only a tournament like this could give you. This is a great opportunity early in the year, and of course a chance to run the table and hopefully make some noise as we hit holiday weekend.
Yeah, tonight Fordham facing off against Franklin Pierce, the last non-D1 opponent for the Rams this season on their schedule, but just not a challenge the Rams can overlook.
No doubt about it. I mean, this isn't your average lower division opponent. They're a D2 opponent. Fordham has played 2 D3 opponents. They handle them nicely. They beat Mount St. Mary's by 69. They beat Manhattanville by 34. But Franklin Pierce has a history of competing pretty well against D1 programs, and they also have a firm identity, which I think is something that really helps you if you're a lower level opponent going up against one of the big dogs in D1. This is a team that will push the pace. They're 91st percentile in D2 in tempo, so they're going to get a rebound, and they're going to go out quickly, and they know what they're doing offensively. They want to get the ball inside. That's their goal. They may not be a big team, but their goal is to slash, get inside, find cutters, and finish at the hole. You're not going to see them take a whole lot of threes, but that's a recipe for success for these Ravens.
Yeah, Joe, you bring up strong identity there. One of the big keys, the main idea keys throughout this season for the Fordham Rams is continuing to build that identity, continuing to strengthen that identity, and they've done a decent job so far. A win in their last game against LIU, they looked really convincing in that one, and a lot of momentum heading into this game for the Rams.
No doubt. That was their best win of the year, and now you have a chance to compound it, not just with one game tonight, but hopefully with 3 games over the course of the weekend.
We're going to get it tipped off here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The Long Island Nets court is being used here in replacement for a basketball court. The Long Island Nets play a ton of games in Montreal. Half of their home schedule they play aside from Long Island here in Quebec, and that's the court we're using today. Fordham Rams in their white going left to right. They'll win the tip, and they'll start off offensively. Louis Lesmond in the left corner. Into the left block, Akira Jacobs back to his defender, back out. Christian Henry navigating the offense. Guarded one-on-one up top. Jalen Duff on the guard, driving inside and finishing with a floater in the middle of the paint, Christian Henry.
You love to see that. This is a guy who penetrated so much last year, 4.5 free throw attempts per game. He hasn't slashed a lot this year, but he's so good when he does.
Baca dribble handoff to Parker for Franklin and Pierce. Left corner at 3, no good for Lava Drama. Rebound by Fordham.
If you look at the scouting report for Fordham, they have Rondo next to this kid, Lava Drama's name. That means he's not a shooter.
Henry trying to drive right, pulls it back. Ball goes around the perimeter to Day-Day Reeves in the left corner. Day-Day takes a jumper. It's good. Day-Day Reeves from the mid-range. He's got Fordham out to a 2-0 lead.
He started out the year, I think, 9 for 11 on mid-range shots. He's cooled off since then, but that's a shot he's really comfortable with.
4-0 lead for the Rams. 18:50 to go. A steal on the defensive end for the Rams.
Miscommunication. Franklin Pierce, a bad bounce pass, found no one but Rika Schulte.
Fordham taking advantage. Reeves inside to Schulte. He lost it in the post. It's going to be out of bounds. It's going to stay on this side with the Rams.
Have to love the start. What did Mike Macpaio say when we talked to him earlier? He said, we got to punch them in the paint. We've got to punch early. That's what these guys have done so far. They've gotten it inside. They've gotten paint touches. They just forced a turnover. Now they got a good baseline inbound play.
It's going to be Christian Henry on the left side of the baseline, taking it out under his own basket. He's going to send it out, inbound it to Lesmond, top of the key. He'll take a top of the arc 3. Lesmond, no good off front rim. Rebound brought down by Raymond Baca. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Franklin Pierce and the Ravens.
Look, Lesmond has really struggled from 3 so far. Sub 30% from distance last year. This year, I think he's down at 19% to date. But you got to keep shooting if you're Louis Lesmond, because at some point, it's got to click. And when you get to conference play, you need him on the floor as a defender, but you need him to be able to do something offensively. That role is to be a guy who can curl off of screens and hit contested threes.
A dire element for this Fordham team. Lesmond shooting along with a bunch of other guys on this Fordham team. 3-point shooting, a main theme for this Fordham team as this season goes along. Baca has it at the free throw line. Backs down his defender. Back out to Lava Drama. He'll drive on Akira Jacobs. Loses the ball on the drive. It'll be out of bounds on the baseline back toward Fordham. Good defensive effort so far from the Rams.
How about Akira Jacobs? Someone who kind of struggled defensively in the first couple games of the season. But since then, he's looked not just good, but great, especially on the perimeter. This is a 6'11 forward who's more than held his own on the perimeter, and that's meant that when guys are driving inside, even smaller guys who typically would get right by him, he's been able to shift his feet laterally, not commit fouls, and get good contests like he did there.
Schulte to Christian Henry. He'll take a left wing 3. No good air ball over the rim. Franklin Pierce coming the other way with speed. Anthony Parker, left corner pass. That 3, it's good. Eric Perez gets the Ravens on the scoreboard. It's 4-3, 18 minutes to go in this first half. Nice play there from the Ravens.
Marcus Green trotting out to the scorer's table to sub into this one. Henry backing down his defender, driving inside, rejected at the rim. Franklin and Pierce wasting no time the other way. Anthony Parker in the left corner. His three is good. Back-to-back left corner threes for the Ravens, and Franklin and Pierce has a lead. 6-4, 17:30 to go in this first half.
That's a guy who's 3 for his last 21.
Day Reeves returns with a three of his own from the right wing. Day Reeves returning the Pyre 3 threes on the last 4 possessions from these two teams. Baca now has it, the big man for the Ravens. Passes on the left wing to Perez. Perez fires a ball inside off the hands of his teammate. It'll go back toward the Rams.
This is a Franklin Pierce team that is very turnover prone. You see a lot of these turnovers not in ball handling when the ball is poked away by a defender, but in the passing game. Trying to find a guy inside, just a lot of miscommunication, disjointedness. That's what the turnovers have come from so far. 18.5 per game for Franklin Pierce today.
Yeah, 18 a game for the Franklin and Pierce Ravens. Already seen some sloppy play on the offensive end. Abbas Bodija passing it inside from the top of the key to Schulte. Schulte finishing, spinning out of the paint, finishing at the left block. Good play from Rika Schulte, the big man of the Fordham Rams.
Yeah, good things happens when he gets a paint touch.
It's going to be Jalen Duff, right to left crossover, gets it inside to Baca. Baca rejected by Schulte. Schulte pass to Lesmond, left wing. Extra pass, Green in the corner. It's good. Franklin and Pierce playing it quickly. Aaron Aneen has it, top of the key. That three, no good, Gergo. Gergo Caddick, no good on the three. Fordham will have it back. Day Reeves going right around the Bodija screen to Lesmond, right wing. Inside to Schulte. Schulte double teamed, getting to the rim, no good on the left-handed layup. It's now Jalen Duff directing the Franklin and Pierce offense. Stops at the right elbow. Passes it inside, another ball inerrant and out of bounds for the Franklin and Pierce offense.
And we've seen that, 4 times now, a bounce pass gone awry where the guy who's trying to catch it just isn't in the vicinity, trickles out of bounds. Now it's a dead ball turnover, which is a little bit better, allows you to set your half-court defense, but still a turnover is a turnover, and Fordham's winning that battle so far.
The third offensive turnover for the Ravens so far. Reeves out of the right wing. Dribble handoff, Abbas back up top to Reeves. Reeves moving to the left wing, driving through the left of the lane, ends up getting fouled on the drive. It'll be a reach-in foul, staying on the floor with the Rams. Timeout after the play as well.
Like the aggressiveness offensively, Day Reeves has been the guy at the sticks for Fordham, playing that point guard role that he didn't play for his entire 4-year college career until he got here. And he's not just a one-dimensional guy. Yes, he's willing to pull the three as he did on that right wing triple to push the momentum back in Fordham's favor, regain them the lead. He hit there. He's their second leading three-point shooter in terms of percentage. Behind, guess who? Marcus Green, who drills his first of the game. He's the guy who's probably looked best in shoot-around the past couple of days as a shooter. He just looks confident when he shoots. It's not something you can say about some of these other guys like Louis Lesmond and Chris Henry, who missed their first three-point attempt. But so far, you like the shot selection, you love the defense, the amount of deflections, the turnovers you're forcing, and you live with the 12-6 score after 4 minutes.
I think the shot selection is the thing that has been the most interesting and the most surprising so far. Both these teams shooting four three-pointers apiece, and both shooting 50%, both 2 for 4 from the three-point line. In general, from the field, both teams shooting a decent clip. Fordham shooting 5 for 9. Specifically for the Fordham Rams offensively, it seems to be conservative, but more than conservative, this Fordham offense seems to be efficient so far.
It has been. On the other side, what's curious is you mentioned it, 4 three-point attempts for Franklin Pierce. This is one of the teams in D2 puts up the least number of threes of all 295 teams. They only take 17 threes per game. Opponents are taking 26 against them. For reference, Fordham also takes 26 a game too, and that's a pretty low figure among D1 teams. So it speaks volumes that in the first 4 minutes, Franklin Pierce has already hoisted up 4 threes. That's really not their MO, but so far it's worked all right. That's their only points.
Yeah, and that sloppiness that we've talked about all half long so far for this Raven team, it seems that with that, it's going to be hard to really compete with a team on the level of Fordham. Without that sloppy play, this Franklin and Pierce team really could see themselves being competitive.
Absolutely, and it starts with pushing the pace. It's not something we've seen a lot of. I think Fordham has done a good job to get looks inside, which don't really allow you to push the pace. But when Franklin Pierce does, that's when they're at their best.
12-6 Fordham Rams over the Franklin Pierce Ravens out of the timeout. 15:52 to go in this first half. It'll be taken out under the basket by the Fordham Rams. They're on their own baseline to the left of the baseline. It'll be Day Reeves to take it out for the Rams. Rams setting up in a box set on the inbound. Pass on the inbound to Bodija, left corner. Dribble handoff to Reeves. His three off the inbound, no good. It'll be a rebound on the defensive end from the Ravens. Franklin Pierce coming offensively. Parker, pass in the right corner, gets it back. Parker driving inside, left of the paint, in the left corner, kick out pass. Aneen three is good. Aaron Aneen capitalizing on the fantastic play from Anthony Parker.
They call it a long two, and I think you live with that if you're Fordham.
Schulte, dribble handoff to Green, right wing. He takes a three, no good on the pickup and fire. And Ibaka has it for Franklin Pierce. They're coming offensively. 12-8 Fordham lead, 15-17 to go in this first half. Ibaka, dribble handoff up top. Dylan Goodman, the sharpshooter for this Raven team. Another dribble handoff. Aneen gives it off to Caddick. Caddick, long pass, cross court to Ibaka. His left wing three, no good off side rim. And Fordham has it offensively. Reeves pushing the pace quickly. Reeves on Aneen out of the right wing. Pass up top of the key to Bodija. Back to Reeves. In the right post now. Stolen. A double-teaming Parker steals it, has it in transition, tries to get a shot up. Day Reeves is there defensively.
Wow.
Tenacious defense leads to the ball out of bounds off the Ravens to the Fordham Rams. Good defense from Reeves and the Rams.
Good isn't the right adjective. That's fantastic defense from Reeves on a guy in Anthony Parker who makes his money as a slasher, picks the pockets of Rika Schulte, and in a one-on-one against the smallest guy in the court in Day Reeves. Reeves stays square to his chest, backs him down, and somehow causes him to lose the ball, goes errant with the shot, trickles out of bounds, and after all that, Fordham is the one getting a turnover in the ball.
It's weird to think it's Fordham's possession now. Parker a little slow getting up after that play. He's going to hit the bench, still walking a little gingerly. Anthony Parker, the forward 6'3" sophomore, averaging 13 points per game. The Les McRae College transfer, a major part of this Franklin Pierce team. Reeves, top of the arc, Akira Jacobs, pick and pop, no good off back rim. Rebound hailed down by Aneen. Pass on the right wing to Goodman. Back up top. Jalen Wills. The freshman, guarded by Green on the net logo at center court. Feels good to say that. Now at the top of the arc. Lavo Drama sending another dribble handoff on the right wing. It's now passed back to the top of the arc by Wills. It's stolen. Another steal for the Fordham Rams defensively. Reeves, alley-oop, it's slammed down. Rora Core, the true freshman, receives it from Day Reeves on the alley-oop, and the Fordham Rams with a highlight to go up 6 points.
And this kid can fly. I've been telling you, you got to wait for a lob from this kid. We finally got one.
That play inside. Good job to get inside creatively. Ends up being a turnover anyway. Aneen finds himself at the rim, took one too many steps, and the Rams are going to get it back after another turnover from this Raven offense.
Another turnover, and it's not like Fordham is reaching in a whole ton or being overly aggressive in their half-court defense, but they're just forcing turnovers by playing sound defense.
Reeves pass on the left wing, skip past Aurora Core, left corner three, it's good! An alley-oop slam and a corner three. The true freshman, Aurora Core, having himself a really nice couple minutes.
What did Mike Backpio tell us? When he gets going, he could bang 3 or 4 in a row in your face, and that's what he's doing now.
Jalen Wills, no good from the mid-range. It'll be out of bounds on the baseline, going to stay with the Ravens. It's going to be Franklin Pierce ball under the basket.
More good activity defensively.
Aurora Core, only true freshman on this roster. Coach Magpio and his coaching staff have a lot of positive things to say about this guy. Me and you, Joe, have a lot of positive things to say about this guy, whether it's in-game or in practice. This guy's shown a lot of positive signs, and he shows it in games. That runner really beautiful on the left side of the lane. Goodman finishes it for the Franklin Pierce offense. Green gets it quickly on the other end for the Fordham Rams, wide open in the right corner, and he hits it. Taking advantage of the golden opportunity. Fantastic play there from Marcus Green. Anthony Parker spinning, trying to get a right-handed hook on Aurora Core. It's no good off side rim. Back out, Eric Perez, pump fakes and drives. Back out to Wills. Now top of the arc, Anthony Parker's three, nothing but net. Anthony Parker gets in on an array of passes and gets Franklin Pierce back within 7, 20-13, 12:45 to go in this first half.
If the Ravens want a chance to win this game, Anthony Parker's going to be the guy. He's their microwave. If he can get hot, they can stay in this.
Bodija loses it in the post for the Rams. Franklin Pierce has it offensively. Turnover for the Ram offense. Ravens have it, top of the arc. Parker drifting over to the right wing, guarded by Green. Gonna go left around a Lava Drama screen, drives to the left side of the lane, puts up a right-handed layup. It was good and a goaltend from Abbas Bodija, so the point will count. and a nice run of play here from the Raven offense.
No doubt, and it starts with turnovers and then turning them into your offense. Any opportunity that this team gets to run out in transition and beat Fordham as they try to set their half-court defense, that's one of the big keys to the game for Mike Magpie. He always says defend, rebound, take care of the ball. It starts with defending, and specifically for this game, what he had been preaching in shoot-around this morning was defend in transition. Find a way to take care of the ball handler and then set your defense and then make life tough for them in the half court. That's how Fordham wins this game. It's a Franklin Pierce team that's shooting 44% on possessions that are in the half court. It's one of the worst marks in their division.
They're shooting 42% in general so far in this one. Immediate timeout here in Montreal, so we'll take a little break as well. The Fordham Rams lead 20-15 over Franklin and Pierce, the Ravens of Franklin and Pierce. We'll take you back from the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. (2015) Fordham leads from the Place Bell Arena, the Northern Classic in Montreal, Quebec. The Fordham Rams in their home white uniforms. They're going left to right. The Franklin Pierce Ravens in their gray away uniforms. They're going right to left on this beautiful Long Island net court. Don't you agree, Joe?
I don't know, Chris. I'm not so sure.
Just beautiful.
I'm focused on the basketball being played.
Top of the arc thrown away. Kingston Price tries to gather it. Ends up being a backcourt violation. More sloppy play from the Fordham offense.
Definitely sloppy off of the first press that Franklin Pierce has thrown Fordham's way so far today. Kingston Price getting some early minutes. Ryan Pettis is missing the tournament. He's in concussion protocol after the LIU game. So Kingston Price getting the earliest look that he's really gotten in his Fordham career so far.
Yeah, and Kingston Price fills in for that little bit of a thinning of the guard room. Kingston Price shown enough in practice to gain trust from Coach Magpie. He guards Franklin and Pierce from the right wing and ends up being Anthony Parker, top of the arc, dancing on Lesmond. Top of the arc three is no good. Akira Jacobs corrals that one in. It'll be Christian Henry bringing it up offensively for the Rams the other way. Moves from the left wing to the right wing. Drives on Parker. Stops at the right block. Puts up a shot. No good at the rim. Fights on the offensive glass for it. Doesn't end up getting it. Eric Perez is the one with it. Goes the other way for the Franklin Pierce offense. Gets it to Goodman. Goodman out of the right corner. Gives it to Lavadrama. Lavadrama back at the top of the arc to Jalen Wills. The freshman guarded by Christian Henry. Dribble handoff. Perez. Another dribble handoff to Goodman. Right wing. Guarded by the much bigger Jacobs. Stops at the free throw line. Back out Lavadrama. His left wing three. It's good. Nothing but net for Benny Lavadrama. The grad student gets his team back within two. 2018 Fordham lead. 11 minutes to go in this first half.
These guys are letting it fly. Both of Franklin Pierce's big mans have attempted 2 threes. They'd only Lavadrama had only taken 2 so far all season.
Schulte fakes the dribble handoff to Henry. Has the ball above his head, top of the arc, to Price. Left corner, his three. It's good! Kingston Price comes in the game. The ultimate opportunist scores the ball, and a turnover. Franklin Pierce turns it over in the backcourt. The Rams get the ball back. What a sequence from the Fordham Rams.
Sometimes, Chris, it's an unlikely candidate who can give you that jolt early in the game you're looking for as you try to pull away against a lower division opponent. Kingston Price is giving them that.
Kingston Price subbing on in the What the Kobe 8's, getting his bench amped up right in front of us. Christian Henry out of the left wing, working on a Schulte screen. Up top, Jacobs. Dribble handoff, Lesmond. He'll take a top of the key. Three, no good from mid-range. A foot inside the three-point line there. Franklin and Pierce now has it offensively.
You'd like to see Louis get into a rhythm before
Yeah.
he tries an off-dribble moving three like that, curling off a screen at the top of the key. Get inside and make a layup first, and then get comfortable from range.
Perez, top of the arc three, no good off front rim. Rebound by Schulte, gives it to Christian Henry. He has it offensively for the Rams. Henry backing down the much smaller Wills. Freshman Wills getting a lot of playing time for the Ravens in this early installment. Henry, top of the arc. Lesmond, he'll take a three. No good on the catch and fire. Akira Jacobs working hard in the offensive glass. He has the rebound to a cutting Lesmond. Lesmond loses the ball. Anthony Parker is now going the other way in transition. Parker trying to gather the ball from his teammate Perez. Ball's now on the ground. Ball's loose, ends up being given. Aneen in the right corner to Wills. Wills driving inside. Floater inside. No good. Heavily contested from the Rams. Rams will slow it down offensively. Christian Henry will walk it up past half court. What a crazy sequence from both these teams.
They've really frustrated Franklin Pierce when they're in the half court. More deflections, bodies on the floor, and a poor shot attempt at the end of the possession.
23-18 Fordham lead, 9:23 to go in this first half. Jacobs, top of the arc, fakes the lob pass, goes inside, right-handed layup is good. Akira Jacobs, silky move there offensively.
Pretty play for a guy touted as a catch-and-shoot guy who can space the floor. He could also run to the rim. He's a slasher with that big 6'11" frame.
I've seen it from Nicholas Claxton with the Nets. The fake two-handed alley-oop pass. It gets centers going crazy. Kingston Price guarding out of the right corner. No good on the three from Wells. Wills, the freshman, once again being an integral part of this offense. Lesmond now has it right corner for the Fordham offense. No good on that three. Jacobs there on the offensive glass again. Kingston Price gets a three. It's good! Kingston Price 2 for 2 on his 2 attempts for the Fordham Rams. He gives a battery pack for this Ram team.
And so badly needed. He's an energizer bunny for these guys. Not just on defense where he's been active, but offensively bailing you out on a possession that you really should have gotten points on. A couple good looks, he gets that one to go.
Price double teaming out of the left corner. A pass now to Aneen. Aneen has it on the right elbow, drives inside, back to his defender. Pass to Baca. Baca driving from the left baseline into the paint. No good on his floater. Fordham coming the other way quickly. Henry, pass to Price. Skip past to Lesmond. Right corner. A shimmy to Schulte at the free throw line. Touch shot. No good on the floater. Once again, Wills is going to have it the other way. Outlet pass. Parker. Pump fake out of the right wing. Pass inside to Baca. No good on his shot. Heavily contested by Rikas Schulte. He'll pick up the foul, and Baca will go to the line for 2.
3 minutes, 19 seconds, Chris, between scores for Franklin Pierce and for Fordham. That's been executing your scout, slowing them down. This team hasn't been able to get anything going in transition. They have 6 fast break points. I think those all came before the last media timeout. So in the 4 minutes since then, you've essentially kept them from scoring in over 3 minutes now, but you've done that by slowing them down, forcing them to be in the half court. And when they are, the shot clock has dwindled down a lot more than Franklin Pierce typically likes to let it dwindle down, and the shot attempts have been really poor. It started with deflections on the perimeter, causes a little bit of chaos, and then this Franklin Pierce team in the scramble drill late in the shot clock just hasn't gotten good looks. They finally were able to get a solid one down low. That's their MO, is to get the ball into their paint where they have some big-bodied, if rather short, forwards that can get to the rim.
It's been a turnover fest so far for Franklin and Pierce. 6 turnovers for Franklin Pierce, 4 turnovers for the Rams. The Rams doing a good job of taking advantage of those turnovers as well. 7 points off turnovers for the Rams. That's a decent amount of their points so far, a fourth of their points so far. The Rams going to need to continue to take advantage of those mistakes from the Ravens.
And if you're going to highlight something as a negative for Fordham in a 12-point lead early on, it's the rebounding category. They only lead by 1 in that column. They only have 2 offensive rebounds. This is a Fordham team that, technically speaking, ranks as a 10-point lead, rather. It's a Fordham team that technically ranks as the 3rd best rebounding team in the country, but of course you have the asterisk there. They've played some lower division opponents, but still, you'd expect them to dominate on the glass. That's what we've heard from Coach Mike Magpio. That's one of the goals of the game, is to just crush these guys. Another really small team. Fordham's played nothing but smaller opponents so far. And overall, Fordham's had a good season so far, rebounding the ball. But on that whiteboard that Mike Magpio uses, you'll often see the phrase war mentality rebounding written down. That's the intensity with which they want to attack the glass as a unit. Now, they've played nothing but smaller teams, but arguably their 2 worst rebounding performances so far were their 2 overall worst performances. Again, arguably, that's NJIT and that Wagner win. Talk about trying to jumpstart the offense. How about crashing the boards on both ends, getting extra possessions? We haven't seen a whole ton of that so far from Fordham, but on the last time they did secure an offensive rebound, it turned into a wide open Kingston Price 3. You need more of that.
Yeah, and this Fordham team, as you just mentioned there lightly, some people could bring up the idea of maybe some of these stats being watered down from the competition they've played so far in the non-conference. But even talking about turnovers per game, they rank 17th in D1 with 8.8 turnovers per game. And that doesn't even have to do with their competition. They tend to hold on to the ball more against the higher level competition. This Fordham Ram team doing a good job of taking care of the ball in this early part of the season.
Yeah, very weird, but Fordham's 2 highest turnover outputs come against the 2 non-D1 teams they face, and they're kind of on that road right now. They've committed 4 so far. It's not a bad number. They're probably going to eke into double digits, whereas this is a team that averages just 8.8 turnovers per game as a unit. That's one of the lowest rates in the country, as you said, Chris.
No good on the first free throw for Raymond Baca, the center for this Raven team. Makes the second, splits a pair at the line, gets his team back within single digits. 19-28, 7:54 to go in this first half. Henry going to inbound it in the backcourt. A full court press from Franklin Pierce. Day Reeves being guarded by Anthony Parker, full court. Reeves has it top of the arc. Drifts over to the right wing, deep on the right wing. Now alternates wings, top of the arc to Schulte. Schulte guarded by the outstretched hands of Baca to Christian Henry on the left wing. Fakes inside, drives inside, spins, and is rejected by Baca. Big man for Franklin Pierce making his presence felt. Anthony Parker now has it in the left corner. Alternating pass, cross court to Goodman, top of the arc to Baca. Baca pump fakes, drives inside, mid-ranger, it's good. Baca a step in front of the right elbow, gets that one to go, and Baca doing it with versatility offensively.
He's really the only shot blocker on this Franklin Pierce team, but he's also a guy who's pretty savvy when he gets inside the three-point line. He can score in a variety of ways.
A block there on the defensive end for Franklin Pierce. Day Reeves blocked at the rim. They're now coming the other way. Anthony Parker, left corner 3, no good. Rebound by Reeves. Good stop there from the Fordham defense. Their lead continues to dwindle. Schulte gets it on the outlet pass, finishes at the rim. Reverse layup is good with the left hand, and the Fordham Rams back out to a 9-point lead. 30-21, 6:43 to go in this first half. Jalen Duff, pass on the left elbow. Baca faking the dribble handoff, facing up Schulte, now backing him down. Backing him down at the left elbow, poked away by Schulte. Christian Henry has it. Outlet pass to Reeves, who will finish it with a right-handed layup. Nice play there from Fordham, turning defense into offense.
Something in common between these last 2 plays, getting out quickly. That time on a live ball turnover, yes, but even on missed shots, if you can get out quickly and get paint touches early in possessions, you'd like to think this Fordham offense is way more efficient when they do that.
Double-digit lead for the Rams, 32-21, 6 minutes to go in this first half. Coach Magpio discussing with his coach, they got 5 fouls to give. They can play aggressively. Baca gets the ball in the paint, had a foul and the shot, made the shot, but before all that, there was a travel. Fordham getting the ball on another turnover from this Raven offense.
It's a bit of a break. It's almost when you get overeager because you see that you just somehow bit roar core on a pump fake before you even pump fake. So as soon as you look up at the basket, you see a 6'8" mass jumping up in the air. So you know all you have to do is lean in, take that floater, and you're either looking at an and 1 or 2 shots at the line. But as he was trying to process all that, he took 3 steps, so it didn't matter.
Kingston Price subbing out for Marcus Green on that substitution. Kingston Price coming in, making a major impact in a much bigger role for the Rams today. Christian Henry no good on his floater. Rikas Schulte is there on the offensive glass. His putback's no good. 2 shots at the rim, no good for the Rams offensively. It'll be out of bounds. Franklin Pierce ball. A rough possession for the Rams offensively.
This is a brutal sequence. You'd like to see Chris Henry getting inside more. He'd only taken 11 shots at the rim all year entering today compared to 14 deep 2s and 19 3s. So a guy whose shot diet really had been inconsistent throughout the season, also just poor. You'd like to see a guy who has an acumen as a slasher get inside as much as possible. He's doing that today, but we haven't seen the finish yet. He's missed a couple bunnies.
Marcus Green defending in the backcourt. Jalen Duff bringing it up for Franklin Pierce. Franklin Pierce, top of the arc to Anthony Parker. Anthony Parker pump fakes, drives inside, lost the ball. An outlet pass goes awry for the Rams. Franklin Pierce gets the ball back. It's now Duff with the ball. Back after that whole sequence. Has it on the right wing. Being double teamed. Pass it back out. Parker. Ball goes around the world to Goodman. Goodman gets it back to Parker, top of the arc. Guarded by Henry. Now switch to Green. Now double teamed in the corner. Passes it back out. Baca has it, left corner, Lava Drama trying to pass it. Duff ends up getting the loose ball. Mid-ranger is good. Duff picking the ball off the ground and finishing for Franklin Pierce. Big offensive possession for the Ravens.
No, you live with that possession of your Fordham. It bled 25 seconds off the shot clock, and the result was a semi-contested mid-ranger. That's good, but it shouldn't have happened to begin with. It was a bad turnover.
Reeves, nice pump fake, and is blocked at the rim. Ends up getting it back. Nice hustle from Reeves. And there's going to be a shot. There's going to be a whistle to change the shot clock. Shot clock's at 18. They need it changed to 15. Fordham will inbound it from under their basket.
A lot of blocked shots from Franklin Pierce. I believe they have 3 now. And they've really all come in the past 3 minutes. Fordham doesn't really have an answer inside. Its smaller guards have been getting stuffed, and that's not something we've seen a lot so far this year from Reeves and Henry.
One of their smaller guards, Reeves, inbounding it under the basket. Reeves gets it to Bodija. Bodija has it, right elbow. Faces up his defender. Inside to Lesmond. Beautiful feed. Reverse layup, no good. Used the left hand to finish on the left side of the rim. Didn't get the shot to go, but a foul on the shot, and Lesmond will go to the line for 2. Good offensive play all around from Fordham.
That's what I'm talking about, where Lesmond has taken 3 threes already. They haven't been great looks. I think one of them was a good look, didn't go. The other 2 were either contested and or running. So not good looks to start the game. You can't get into a flow. But the way that he's done so in the past 2 games, which I think have been his best offensive games, is to get inside. As he misses it first, rims out. Another issue for Fordham, free throw shooting. As a team, they're shooting under 65% so far in the campaign. But for Lesmond, his past 2 games have been his best 2 because he's just gotten to the rim more. His 2 highest field goal attempt numbers in these past 2 games, 10 shots and 8 shots in those 2 games. When he's gotten inside, he's built a rhythm through his off-ball cutting, getting easy looks, and then he's built out from outside, and he's looked better from the perimeter.
Lesmond missing the second free throw as well. 0 for 2 for Lesmond at the line. Only taken 2 free throws on the season up to that point. Had made those both. And it's going to be a foul on Lesmond deep on the left wing on a dribbling Anthony Parker. Parker going to inbound it right in front of Coach Magpayo on the sideline. It'll be Jalen Duff getting it on the inbound. Dribble handoff, left wing Parker. Parker, guarded by the much smaller Green, drives inside, takes the jumper, no good off the right side of the rim. Bodija there on the defensive glass.
It's a great example of following the scout. They force the guy left, force him into a mid-ranger, and you like the result.
Lesmond to Green, right corner, back to Lesmond, top of the arc. He takes a 3, catch and fire, no good off back rim. Another miss from 3 for Lesmond. Parker gets it on the outlet. Pass to the driving Lava Drama, blocked at the rim. Roar Akor, who else getting it done in a multitude of ways here in Montreal.
You like the hustle on a play where you miss a wide open 3 that really should have gone and would have fully swung the momentum in your favor. A long rebound means fast break opportunity for Franklin Pierce. But instead of watching that unfold, you're sprinting back, you're getting the block, and you're earning yourself a chance to set your half-court defense off the inbound.
Second media timeout of the half. The Fordham Rams continuing to impress here in the early installments of the Montreal Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena. It's a 32-23 Fordham lead over Franklin Pierce. We'll take a little break from the Place Bell Center here in Montreal. You're listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports. (32-23) Fordham Rams lead over the D2 Franklin Pierce Ravens. 3:51 to go in this first half. Franklin Pierce inbounding it from under their own basket. Goodman gets it in the left corner, guarded tightly by Dede Reeves. Described as a defensive menace in his PR release when signing with the Rams. Still guarding Goodman tightly in the left corner. Pass, Baca, left wing three is good. Left elbow jumper is good. Mid-ranger from Baca good. Baca continuing to impress from the mid-range.
They've done a good job of shielding from the paint. He hasn't gotten a lot of looks inside there, but he's lived in the mid-range, and I think Fordham's okay with that, but he's been efficient there.
Mid-range, not a place big men usually find success. He's found it so far in this one. Bodija loses it in the post, guarded by Baca. It'll be a foul on Baca, and Bodija will go to the line.
For Bodija, it was a little bit of a sloppy
It'll actually be
start.
an inbound under the basket.
Inbound under the basket. For
Sloppy
Bodija,
start, yeah.
It was a sloppy start. He had a really brutal turnover that turned into an easy, a long possession for Franklin Pierce, but a two, because on a fast break created by a Fordham turnover, Bodija tried for a half-court bounce pass to Roar Core. It was a bad look. It got picked off, and then it spurred that play, and it kind of spurred Fordham's momentum. But he's gotten it back with that block, and now he draws a foul inside.
Green pump fake, drives inside. Step back is good from the left elbow. Marcus Green, silky play in the mid-range. Mid-range offense continuing to excel. Quick left corner three, no good from Aaron Aneen, trying to take Fordham off guard quickly off defensively. It didn't work. Reeves now has it going the other way. Fired it quickly into Schulte. Schulte's going to get fouled on the double-teaming lava drama for Franklin Pierce.
So suddenly the fouls piling up. Both of these teams have barely drawn any fouls in the first 15 minutes of play. Each team had committed only 2, but now Franklin Pierce up to 4, and it's because Fordham's getting paint touches early, and where they have the size advantage, whether it's Rikas Schulte or Abbas Bodija, they're getting to the cup.
Bodija hop-stepping, getting to the rim, and slamming with 2 hands. Abbas Bodija using all of that big frame. It's now Aneen coming quickly the other way for the Raven offense, and an offensive foul. An offensive foul committed by Franklin Pierce out of the right wing, and the Fordham Rams continuing to compound on the Ravens' offensive mistakes.
So this is where the game can get out of hand if you're a lower division opponent, a team that has looked a little bit disjointed at time, a team that's already committed 9 turnovers in 17 minutes of play. You got to connect here and fully swing the momentum in your direction.
11-point lead for the A-10 Fordham Rams, 36-25, 2:37 to go in this first half. It's Marcus Green dancing at the top of the arc on the script Long Island Net logo, going left around a Schulte screen, stopping at the right elbow, back out to Dede Reeves. Dede Reeves firing inside, left-handed pass, Aurora Core finishing on the other end. Whole Fordham bench wanted a foul. Coach Magpio screaming at the official in front of him.
Baca fell over him after the play.
Baca, pump fake, out to Goodman, top of the arc. Goodman fakes the pass, loses the ball. Ball is loose on the ground. Baca gets it, right corner. Franklin Pierce still has it offensively. Back out to the freshman, Wills. Wills guarded by Reeves to the right wing. That three from Goodman, no good off the left side of the rim. Reeves has it on the offensive rebound, held that from the three-point line, and runs it the other way. In transition, skates through the lane, and finishes at the rim with the left hand. Dede Reeves showing off on both ends.
Again, it's not a decision that you have to make, but it's a decision that you should make against a lower division opponent. If you're a guard and you pull down a rebound, get out and go. Get into the paint. Good things are going to happen early in the shot clock when you do that.
Dede Reeves, not a normal guard, gets 4.2 rebounds a game, a big part of his defensive game. Aurora Core getting quickly out to the left corner to contest. It didn't matter. Dylan Goodman on the three. The Lenoir-Rhyne University transfer, Long Island native, getting it done in Quebec. Dede Reeves going left around a screen, right wing three, no good. Schulte trying to clean it up on the glass. He can't, no good on his putback. Lava Drama receives the outlet pass, going inside to Green, and Green picking up the offensive foul.
And he does it right in front of his bench, just the second charge drawn by a Fordham Ram all year so far, and that's what you need. When Franklin Pierce had started to stymie the momentum you built, put your body on the line, and now build a lead in these last 68 seconds before half.
Marcus Green taking the plunge for his team. Fordham Rams out to a 40-28 lead, 1:08 to go in this first half. That first charge of the season in their last game at home against LIU. It's going to be more defense in the backcourt for Franklin Pierce. This time it's Gurko Kadek, and a lob pass a little too high for Akira Jacobs. He went up to slam it, and Dede Reeves just a little inerrant on that pass.
Great idea. You get your forward cutting inside. We've already seen what Akira Jacobs can do when he slashes inside from the left wing. It's a good look, but for Reeves, just a little too much on that pass. It was a little too high for Jacobs.
Parker faking the dribble handoff, finds himself in the left corner, guarded by the much bigger Jacobs. Pass out. Aneen driving. Another pass, skip pass. One more skip pass, right corner. Tried to fire a pass inside to Caddick, couldn't get it to him. Fordham takes it away, and it'll be a foul in the backcourt from the tenacious defense in the backcourt from Franklin Pierce.
And again, the fight from Franklin Pierce on the boards is what's keeping this game somewhat close. It's a 12-point game, yes, and now Fordham's in the bonus. They got in the bonus really late, though, 31 seconds, so you really can't capitalize. But the rebounding column is where Franklin Pierce is staying in this game. It's tied at 19, and even on a play like that ends in a foul and gives your guy a chance for a one-on-one opportunity, the fact that they're fighting, creating deflections, and making life tough in the backcourt for Fordham, it's stopping them from getting out in transition fast. And when they've done that, Chris, that's when they've built the lead.
Rikus Schulte at the line for the Fordham Rams. The junior UCR transfer. Good on his first free throw of the 1-and-1. Transferring over along with Coach Magpaio from UC Riverside, the first commit of the Coach Mike Magpaio era. Done a good job in slate of Jack Whitbourne. Jack Whitbourne, the all intents and purposes center of this Fordham team. He's been injured to start this non-conference schedule. Rikus Schulte, a little bit smaller, but then has done a great job in his replacement. Second free throw is good as well. Rikus Schulte done a great job at the line this season. Now 15 for 19 from the line. Really important aspect, especially of a big man's game.
No doubt. He's a guy who hasn't necessarily finished at the clip you'd like. He's finished at an okay percentage inside, but he's also drawn a lot of fouls, and that's where he's also made his money. He's scoring over 10 points a game.
28 for 46 from the field this season. That's good for 61%. Henry, top of the arc, guarding Parker. Parker, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Inside in the left block. Now on the left wing. That three, it's good! Kicked out to the left wing quickly, and Callan Zelenga gets it to go. The sophomore guard, 6 foot, gets a three to go and maybe stops the bleeding for this Franklin Pierce team. 3.6 on the game clock.
No doubt. This is the most that a non-D1 opponent now has scored against Fordham so far this season. Again, a D2 team, not a D3 team. I mean, in a half. Good way to correct me there. That would have been misleading. But
that would have been a stat.
In the first half, it's the most that a non-D1 team has put up against Fordham. And you have to really like the defense. A lot of the points have come really late in the shot clock. A decent number of the points have come from the mid-range game. They've shot 6 for 15 from 3. I don't think anyone would have expected them to have taken 15 threes and a half because over the course of the season, they take 17 in a game. So for some reason, that's been the shot diet for them. And for better or worse, it's worked out even in late shot clock situations, even off of deflections, even on ugly possessions. It's allowed them to stay rather close.
Franklin Pierce still trailing far behind in the turnover battle. Double the turnovers of the Fordham Rams. They sit at 12 at halftime. Christian Henry, one more play for the Fordham Rams. 3.6 seconds on the halftime clock. Henry receives it on the inbound. Gets a quick shot up from 3. It's no good off back rim. Close on the shot there. Fordham Rams finish the half in a good nature regardless. Fordham Rams with the lead going into the locker room, and a decisive one at that.
You'd like for it to be more, though, Chris. And again, it feels like it starts on the rebound.
Feels like it could be
19 and 19. It's also a Franklin Pierce team that Mike Magpaio has been saying maybe hadn't been the most congealed team offensively. They already have 10 assists, though, in just one half of play. Fordham does have 12. But for this group to have 10 assists, it's not what you'd expect because it's a lot of guys who, when they have the ball in their hands, are not looking to pass. They're looking to slash and they're looking to score. And Fordham, for better or worse, has stymied that trend, and it's forced Franklin Pierce to kick out threes to find guys late in the shot clock who are open on scramble plays. And for whatever reason, that's allowed their offense to be even better than it usually would be when they're doing their normal MO of slashing.
Franklin Pierce shooting 12 for 30 from the field in that first half. They're going to need that efficiency to go up on the offensive end along with the turnovers if they want to stay competitive in that second half.
No doubt. I mean, the turnovers are the big thing that you look at. 12 so far today. It's a team that averages 18 and a half. That's one of the worst numbers in Division II. Fordham's averaging just 10.7 a game overall, just 8.8 against D1 opponents. So that's the battle where Fordham is winning. But you also look at points in the paint, 20-6 for Fordham. That's a great figure, a great advantage. They had an 18-point advantage against Long Island, but to only score 20 points in the paint of your 42 points, one, it does tell you that your three-point shooting is coming along a little bit, but against a way smaller team, the impetus should be get the ball in the paint every single possession. There should be a paint touch no matter what, and then if you get a three off of that, that's great, but I think too much in this half, especially towards the earlier part of the half, there were a lot of early shot clock threes where the ball really never got inside the perimeter. Not the looks that Fordham should be getting against a lower division opponent.
Fordham going into halftime, 42-31 lead over D2's Franklin Pierce Ravens. We'll be back for second half action after this in the Northern Classic at the Place Bell Arena in Montreal, Quebec. For now, you're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. Oui, Joe Henry. Welcome back to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena. I'm very jazzed to be here alongside my partner, Joe Henry. A decent start for the Fordham Rams, their first half of the Classic. They lead over the Franklin Pierce Ravens 42-31. An interesting half, a half that might have brought some disappointment for Fordham fans, but overall a decent product.
A decent half, but plenty of room to improve. The three keys to the game for Fordham: defend, rebound, take care of the ball. Well, you're holding Franklin Pierce to just 40%. That's great, but they're shooting 40% from three. It's a team that averages 5.9 made threes per contest. They've already got 6, and it's only at halftime. Rebounding, we're knotted at 19. Actually, Fordham got a dead ball rebound at the end of the half, so make it 20-19 in Fordham's favor. This is a team that frequently wins by about 7, 8, 9 in the rebounding column, and it's a Franklin Pierce unit that frequently loses by 5, 6, or 7. So to only be up by 1 through 20 minutes against a much smaller team, not to mention a lower division team, is concerning. And finally taking care of the ball, that's the one definitive strong suit for Fordham through 20 minutes. They've forced 12 turnovers from a Franklin Pierce unit that averages almost 19 a game, and they've taken care of it decently well. They've only committed 6 turnovers, and I only say decently well because for any other team that's a great figure and a half, but for Fordham, they're only averaging 8.8 turnovers against D1 opponents and 10.7 overall, so you'd love to see them stay in single digits for the game. Yes, plenty of positives in the box score, but the overall product, I think, still leaves something to desired. It's about gelling all of that together, just like we saw against Manhattanville, where they came out of the gates hot and ended this game before it got too late.
Yeah, holding on to the ball, a calling card for this Fordham team. They've done a good job of translating defense into offense in that first half as well. You look at fast break points, they have 13 points off turnover. That good defense leading to good offense, really important for Coach Magpaio's group.
That's been the big key. When Fordham got going towards the later stages of the first half and started to build out a lead, because off of rebounds or turnovers, they were pushing the pace, getting the ball into the paint quickly. That's when they were their most efficient. That's what we need to see in these first couple minutes here of the second half.
Franklin Pierce Ravens started off offensively in the second half. It's Parker, top of the arc, passing on the left wing. Perez gets it inside. Baca tried to spin into the middle of the lane, lost the ball. It'll be out of bounds. Fordham ball, another turnover for Franklin Pierce offensively. They're now 13th turnover of the ball game.
And that's Rikas Schulte, who, by the way, has 6.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. He's filling up the stat sheet pretty quietly.
Yeah.
That's him reading the scout perfectly and forcing a guy that loves to go to his right, to his left. He tries to spin to his left on the baseline, and he loses the ball out of bounds. Perfect.
Henry past to Lesmond, left corner, back to Henry. Henry debating where to go. Going right around a Jacobs screen. Now at the free throw line. Back out Lesmond. Lesmond top of the arc. Driving through the right side of the lane. Blocked on his way up to the rim, but it'll be a foul on Anthony Parker, a shooting foul. Louis Lesmond will go back to the line. 0 for 2 so far tonight.
He's 0 for 2 at the line. He's 0 for 5 in the game and 0 for 4 from 3. So in that moment where you have the chance to take a medium contested three-pointer at the top of the arc, which is a shot that you're normally okay with, but in a situation where he's missed his first 4, I love to see him make that quick decision to push into the paint, get Parker behind him, draw the foul, and get a chance at the strike. Now you can build some rhythm as he hits his first.
Makes the first there now. Fordham 3 for 5 so far this evening at the charity stripe. Both misses coming from Louis Lesmond.
Fordham's a bottom 40 team in the country now in free throw rate, as Lesmond misses on his second.
That one swirls in and out of the rim. It'll be Jalen Duff coming the other way, bringing up the ball for the Ravens. Franklin Pierce has on the right wing. Perez, back out Parker. Parker trying to drive to the left elbow, takes a mid-ranger. It's no good. Louis Lesmond tracks it down, runs the other way quickly for the Rams offensively. Jacobs to Reeves, right wing, goes left around a Jacobs screen, now gives it to Jacobs. Right block, back out Henry. Henry has it in the right corner, backing down Duff. Tried to spin around him. It'll be a foul on the floor once again, and Fordham will inbound under the basket.
And 2 quick fouls against Franklin Pierce. You love to see it. I just mentioned it. Fordham's bottom 40 in the country now in free throw rate. So essentially how often they get to the free throw line. They're getting into the bonus decently fast most of the time, but they're not taking advantage of it. It took them 19 minutes and 30 seconds to get into the bonus in the first half, but 2 quick fouls on Franklin Pierce. You love to see that here.
Pass fired inside. Henry can't finish around the rim. Nice pass from the top of the arc from Rikas Schulte. It'll be a foul on the shot, though. Christian Henry will go to the line for 2.
3 fouls
Henry inbounded that one from the right side of the baseline, right next to our sports information director and crisscross applesauce on the baseline.
I didn't see his crisscross applesauce. He looks like he's doing a little quick math sheet.
He's, as the kids say, Joe, locked in.
He's very locked in. He's locked in earlier. A guy tried to give him a fist bump. He wasn't having it. He was writing his pregame report.
Yeah, Coach Phelps came over, give knuckles to everyone in our row, and Coach Joe DeBerry locked in. Christian Henry missing his first at the line.
He's got to cash in at the line, something that he struggled to do this year when he's gotten there, and he hasn't gotten there enough, but you love to see the aggressiveness early on. Fordham, in general, needs to get into the bonus fast. That's how they can really pull away in this one.
Makes the second, splits 1 of 2 at the line. Christian Henry shaking his head after that trip to the line, disappointed in himself. 52% on the season, 11 for 21 coming into this game from the free throw line. Duff now has it on the right wing for the Raven offense. Parker now has it on the right wing, top of the arc. Baca, skip pass in the left corner. Driving inside, Lava Drama finishing amongst the trees. The white jerseys inside for the Fordham Rams. Nice play offensively from Franklin Pierce. Akira Jacobs pick and pop, right wing, no good from the right wing. And a quick rebound from Lava Drama gets it to Parker. Parker, outlet pass to Duff, left wing 3, it's good! Franklin Pierce connecting on all cylinders so far in the second half. 18:03 in the second half, 44-36 Fordham lead. Henry driving left of the lane, lost the ball on the baseline. It'll be out of bounds, staying with the Rams.
The way that Franklin Pierce has routinely kept itself in this contest, as soon as Fordham looks like it's trying to pull away, you'd see 90-second spurts where Fordham dominates, and then Franklin Pierce punches right back. It's because they're getting out quickly off of defensive rebounds, and they're getting these wide open looks from 3.
Henry inbounding under the basket once again to Schulte. Schulte up top, Day Reeves. Day Reeves faking right, going left, now going right. Pass to Lesmond, left wing. Right to left crossover, mid-range jumper, no good. Doesn't even catch rim off the backboard. Akira Jacobs is on the offensive glass. Day Reeves has it to Akira Jacobs. Pick and pop 3, no good from the top of the arc. A fight on the glass ends up in the favor of Franklin Pierce. They're going the other way offensively. Perez stops in the right corner, back up top. Baca pump fakes from the right wing. Takes a mid-range jumper. It's good. Baca 3 for 3 from the mid-range, and he's got Franklin Pierce within 6 now. 44-38, 17:20 to go in the second half.
Closest they've been in a while, and for Baca, again, you leave him open in the mid-range, you live with that take, but he's hitting them routinely so far today.
Schulte, top of the arc. Dribble handoff, Henry faked it. Pass to Lesmond, left corner. Goes to the middle of the paint. Dump-off pass under the basket. Kira Jacobs couldn't get the shot to go, but a foul is called. Jacobs will go to the line. What a feed there from Louis Lesmond.
You check so many boxes in one play there. Lesmond passes out of a 3, tries to drive, and keeps his eyes up instead of looking for his own shot, which he typically does off the drive. He finds a back-cutting Jacobs, which is a great play for a guy who has been a little bit slow offensively so far today. And you draw yet another foul, so he has 2 shots at the stripe. But now already Franklin Pierce up to 4 fouls in the half. It took them 18 minutes to commit their 4th foul in the first half. They've done this in 2 minutes. Make it 3 minutes so far in the second.
No good on the first for Akira Jacobs. Fordham continuing to struggle at the line. Now 5 for 9 from the free throw line tonight. 5 for 10 from the free throw line tonight. Second one no good as well, off back rim. Fordham Rams continue to struggle. Parker and the Raven offense try to work it quickly the other way. Akira Jacobs makes up for his missed free throw with the steal there on the other end. Fordham's offense coming the other way. Day Reeves going right around a Schulte screen through the middle of the lane. Dumps off pass to Schulte, and Schulte finishes at the rim. Beautiful pass out of a double team from Day Reeves to the wide open Rikas Schulte.
We've talked about it on this trip. These two have a quiet chemistry together.
Yeah.
They're 2 of the quieter guys on the team, but they know where each other are on the floor, and that time Reeves pushes the ball inside off of the screen from Schulte and is able to complete that wraparound pass, get a wide open look for your big man.
Fordham's odd couple, if you will, Joe. Rikas Schulte and Day Reeves. Baca trying to work Schulte out of the left block. The ball is loose. Fordham has it. Day Reeves has it. Up to Schulte. Schulte can't finish at the rim. Almost proved us right perfectly there. Ends up being on the other end. Parker pump fakes out of the right wing. Shoots the 3. No good off rim. And Baca shielding off Day Reeves picks up a foul on the glass. It'll be a foul for Franklin Pierce under the basket on the floor. Good job there from Franklin Pierce taking advantage of the opportunity.
Man, for Anthony Parker, he's 3 for 9 now, 2 for 4 from 3. This is a guy who will take 7 threes a game, make it 2 for 5 from 3. 7 3-point attempts per game. And he doesn't even hit them terribly consistently. He's only 9 for 29 so far, so that's just under 30%. but he's a guy who loves to shoot. And again, if Franklin Pierce wants to stay in this game, it's going to be because Anthony Parker is hot from the exterior.
No good on a three from Franklin Pierce. Fordham now has it the other way. Day Reeves in attack mode from the left wing. Takes a mid-ranger, kisses it off the glass for two. Day Reeves, silky on both ends there and with speed.
Feels like every time you need a bucket to make you feel a little bit more comfortable in a game, Day Reeves is there in the mid-range.
Day brings the lead back out to 7 for the Fordham Rams. 47-40, 15:39 to go in the second half. Perez tried to drive right on green. Ricky Schulte rejects it on the double team. And that's out of bounds off Franklin Pierce. Fordham gets the ball back. What a defensive possession from the Rams.
Ricky Schulte is everywhere. Not only has he been leaking out in transition so far in the second half to get this offense jump started, but defensively he's everywhere. Call that 4 stocks on the day. That's steals and blocks. He's got 3 steals and 1 block, not to mention 4 assists. I think that's his season high. He had 3 against LIU. We've seen him develop as a playmaker, but now he one-ups himself. He's got 4 through just over 1/2 a play. Of course, the rebounding numbers are there. He's one of the best rebounders in the A-10 so far. He's got 7, and of course, 8 points. He's doing a little bit of everything, Chris.
It's going to be a coach's challenge here. Franklin and Pierce challenging that play after the rejection from Ricky Schulte on the double team. The ball went out of bounds. It was called on Fordham, and it seems Franklin Pierce head coach Mike Ruan is going to ask the refs to take a look at it. They're going to look at this play in the challenge system right in front of us on a monitor, actually stealing the TV crew's monitor to look at this one. The officials and the TV crew having a bit of a laugh about it.
I don't think
directly
I've seen that
in front
before.
of us.
They're using the TV broadcast crew's replay system to look at the challenge. Now, normally, those two processes are totally separate. The TV has its replay center. They'll go to it during a review, and the broadcasters can talk over it. And then the referees go to a different monitor that has different camera angles, because usually the referees have more camera angles at their disposal, and then they'll look through it. So you have to wonder here, from a broadcast perspective, you want to show certain angles to get your broadcasters to talk over it, but the referees typically are requesting certain angles from the broadcast crew in the back. So are we able to communicate here with the production crew and say, hey, I want that angle? Is that coming out over the broadcast? We've got a little bit of lunacy here in Montreal on a Friday night.
The head official has a headset on, looking at the monitor, looked behind him and said, this is crazy, right? To another official talking about the process that they've had to go under. We'll see what the call is.
So we should give him a headset.
We should.
Let us know what's going on.
They're going to deliberate here, the 3 of them on the floor. And we'll see where this one is called. Definitely an interesting process here in Montreal. While we have a second, we'll talk about head coach of this Franklin Pierce team, Mike Ruan. Mike Ruan spending his 3rd season now with Franklin Pierce. 3-26 record last season, 4-25 record in his first year, 7-51 record combined in his first 2 years at the helm. Coach Ruan saw a lot of success pre-Franklin Pierce. Spent 22 seasons at University of Bridgeport, saw 11 tourney appearances, 4 tourney chips, and a Sweet 16 appearance. It seemed Mike Ruan saw a lot of success at Bridgeport and is trying to translate that success now to Franklin Pierce.
Yeah, retention's been an issue pretty much this entire Franklin Pierce team. Is transfers this year, and when you're rebuilding year over year, especially at a lower division, that's really challenging. But I think this team is going to be much better than in prior seasons. You said 7-51 through 2 years is not pretty, but it feels like this team is competing much better against the opponents that had routinely blown them out in past seasons. And the fact that they're even in this game with 15:33 to go tells you that this isn't the team from 2023 and 2024.
It's objectively not those teams, because there's
no one returning.
Yeah, there was no turnover in the starting lineup. Everyone in their starting lineup last season transferred. No one returned. And a driving green tried to get a shot up around the rim, lost the ball on the entry, and that'll be out of bounds. Franklin and Pierce will have it under the basket.
While we're at it, Chris, not just the starting lineup, their top 16 minutes getters. So their top 16 players.
Ranked players in minutes played last season.
Now you might be saying,
all left.
Is that their entire roster? No, they carry 32 members of their team, but they had their top 16 leave. Most teams don't even have 16 players.
A lot of Ravens on this roster. Lava Drama has it on the left elbow, drives left of the lane, stopped by Bodija, tried to cross-court pass, and it'll be above the hands of Dylan Goodman, the outstretched hands of Dylan Goodman. It'll be Fordham ball.
He threw it into the flock, Chris. He threw it into the Franklin Pierce bench.
I'm surprised they don't need 2 rows of benches for this Franklin and Pierce team. Only 1 row of bench, a normal bench, if you will.
I will.
Fordham Rams without Pettis. Pettis not traveling on this trip. Jack Whitbourne still hurt, but traveling with the Fordham Rams. Season streak closed at the end of the bench.
Zariq Nutter not with the team either.
Yeah, Zariq Nutter not with the team as well. Dede Reeves getting it inside to his buddy Rike Schulte, who finishes with the right hand. Nice feed and nice finish from the two. 51-38, 13-point Ram lead, 14:43 to go in the second half.
And 6 assists from Reeves. I believe that's a season high for him. Guy who averaged only 2 all of last year.
Be out of the left wing, Aneen passing it on the right block. Caddick has it, double teamed by Rohr and Schulte. Pass it back out to Goodman. Dribble handoff on the right wing to Will. Shot clock going down and an offensive foul. A frantic Franklin Pierce committed another turnover on the offensive end, and the Fordham Rams continuing to amount momentum on the defensive end.
And while it's still just a 13-point gap, this is where it feels like Fordham has seized the momentum. They haven't committed a turnover so far in the second half, but they've already forced 5 from Franklin Pierce. 17-6, the differential. It's a matter of time for that to pay dividends for the Rams.
Mentioned Dede Reeves' assists. He also has 11 points in this one. That's a game high. Dede Reeves out of the right wing. Lob pass inside to Schulte. Schulte almost hung on to it, ended up not being able to. That'll be out of bounds on the baseline for Franklin Pierce once again, Joe.
Another good look on the inside on a slot cut for Schulte. He's got a smaller defender. You loop it in over the top. He just wasn't quite ready for it by the time he realized it was coming his way. He stuck a hand out, got a piece of it, but not enough.
Wills, the freshman, dribble handoff to Goodman, right wing. Now moving to the other wing. Aneen, back to Goodman, left wing. Pump fake on Bodija, driving in on Bodija, out past to Caddick. Caddick no good on his floater from the baseline. Dede Reeves has it offensively for the Fordham Rams. Right to left crossover in transition on the left side of the lane and finishing with the spin at the rim. Dede Reeves, silky and smooth once again offensively. Pass on the right wing. Anthony Parker, spot up 3, no good over Bodija. Rebound by Schulte. Fordham once again has it offensively. Reeves controls up top to Schulte. Back to Reeves. Reeves pump fakes, drives in between a few defenders, loses the ball. Ball's now being fought for on the ground in the lane. It'll be a jump ball staying on this side with the Rams. Kingston Price once again subbing into this ball game.
And these were huge minutes for Fordham in the first half, and they're ones to monitor again here. Price won those minutes, no doubt. He had a nice steal. He connected on both of his 2 threes, and Fordham badly needed a punch from the perimeter at that point. But now with Dede Reeves coming out and Chris Henry, who has struggled, and Kingston Price, who hasn't seen a lot of time in his collegiate career, coming in, these are big minutes for this Fordham backcourt as they look to create some more separation.
Yeah, the dynamic duo, Dede Reeves, Rike Schulte subbing out of this one. Christian Henry to Rohr, top of the arc, dribble handoff Kingston Price. Kingston Price pump fakes in the mid-range to Rohr on the baseline, spinning on his defender, takes a pull-up, no good off right side of the rim, and Franklin Pierce has it offensively. Stills, stopping at the right wing, tries the left to right crossover, back up top to Caddick. Caddick to Parker. Right wing, cross-court pass, intercepted by Christian Henry. Like Trayvon Diggs, Fordham offense going the other way. Green finishing on a contested layup at the rim. Fantastic work there from Marcus Green and Christian Henry. That backcourt you were just talking about, Joe.
Now, why'd you go with Trayvon Diggs, Chris?
He played yesterday. Just saw him recently. I would have brought up Devin Witherspoon or Tariq Woolen in another setting. Go Hawks. Pump fake on the right wing. Stills takes the mid-ranger, bounces around the rim. A fight on the defensive glass. Kingston Price ends up hawking it down. You hear that, Joe?
Okay.
Kingston Price stopping on the right wing. Poked away from behind by Parker. Parker in transition, right-handed layup is good at the rim, and Parker translating defense into offense.
Again, it's when they're forcing turnovers, when they're getting misses off of long rebounds, that Franklin Pierce has been able to push the pace successfully and convert quickly instead of settling in the half court.
After that score, Fordham still tied for their biggest lead of the evening, 55-40, 11:49 to go in the second half. 15-point lead for the Rams. Price out of the top of the key, moving right of the lane, pump fakes in the paint, pass it back out to Henry. Henry ends up gathering it, driving middle of the lane, reverse left-handed finish is good at the rim. Christian Henry continuing the momentum for the Fordham Rams offensively.
This is where you need him to take over. He had been 1 for 6 so far. He'd only had 2 assists as a guy who's averaging 5 assists a game. Let this man seize the controls at the point guard position and put this game away.
Wills guarded tightly at the top of the arc by Kingston Price. Pass on the right wing, Parker. Parker tried to get around Green, ends up passing it to Caddick. Back to Parker. Parker driving left of the paint, back out to the freshman. It's good. Jalen Wills, the freshman, gets it to go. Parker had the ball for a while there, gives it to Wills. I don't know if you can call that a grenade, Joe. Either way, it's a 3 for the Ravens.
Fordham was arguing over who should get the grenades last night over dinner. Chris Henry should be the late shot clock guy is what they decided.
Christian Henry has the ball, gets it out to Roar. Roar, top of the arc, it's good. Roar, mightily efficient from the true freshman so far in Montreal.
It's the kind of punch back that you need after you give up a really late shot clock 3 to a guy who's only hit 1 3 in his collegiate career, and Jalen Wills get one right back.
Nice play there in the mid-range by Wills. Ends up losing the ball on the drive, guarded by Christian Henry. It'll be out of bounds. Fordham will get the ball back. Roar, Joe. He's been telling this Fordham team all season long, hey, guys, I'm pretty good. He's like, hey, guys, abroad, I'm even better, for the record.
Abroad, I'm even better. I mean, he's an Australian native, so I guess it makes sense, though. When he's across the border, he's having an even better game than usual. Look, the stats might not pop off the chart for him so far this season, except for his season debut against Mount St. Mary's College, where he exploded for 14 points. Other than that, it's been 5 points, 3 points, 2 points. But even in those games, I mean, last game against LIU, he had just 3 points, but it was a big corner 3 when the team needed it. He had a big offensive rebound in that game. He blocked a 3-point shot because only Roar can do that, and that's, of course, a momentum play. And then in this game, he's getting some extended run. He's getting looks offensively. And he's got 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting. And some of the shots have been, well, I'm not so sure you should shoot that, but if it goes in, you live with it. Mike Magpayo says this guy is fearless, almost out of naivete. He doesn't even really know the size of what he's doing, the magnitude of the type of moves that he's putting on and the type of shots that he's willing to take as a true freshman. But the trust is building from this coaching staff with the core to take those shots early in the shot clock off of a pass or late in the shot clock contested from 2, and he's converting.
And we talked about a week ago, Joe, it was by committee, the Fordham offense in that LIU game. 8 players scoring for the Rams in that matchup. A similar feeling today. A lot of players scoring for this Ram team and contributing for Fordham. Day-Day Reeves, obviously, as I said before, with a game-high 13 points. But 4 players for the Fordham Rams, Joe, in double figures. Day-Day, along with Rikas Schulte and along with Roar and Marcus Green. Roar 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3. Marcus Green, 2 for 3 from 3. So those 2 guys, 4 for 5 from the three-point line combined. Kingston Price also 2 for 2 from 3. So if you took those 3 guys coming off the bench, Joe, you combine all their three-point percentages, it would be a very impressive number of 6 for 7.
No doubt. That is an impressive
I got
figure,
you there.
Chris.
I got you there.
And
I was simming on that one for a while.
And something that you love to see, 17 assists is a Fordham team that I believe averages around 12 per game. They've hovered below the double digits number in a couple of matches, their worst performances, and then otherwise have been around the 15 figure. They're already at 17 with plenty of time to go. They've just been more efficient in the second half. They're shooting 54% from the field in the second frame. They only shot 46% in the first quarter, and a big part of that was that they were just missing bunnies on the inside, something we haven't seen as much of so far in the second half. Now you have a crucial stint where you can really put this game away and start having some fun, maybe get the bench guys in.
Yeah, and that turnover discrepancy between these two teams has continued to widen. Ravens with 18 turnovers, the Rams just with 8. Fordham continuing to hold on to the ball and be conservative with the ball. On the inbound, it's Aneen driving inside, splitting defenders, getting in the paint and scoring. Good play there by Aneen. Christian Henry walking a little gingerly after that play. I think there was a ref stoppage for him. Tells the referee he'll be okay, and we'll keep things as they are. Christian Henry inbounding this one.
Franklin Pierce going back to the full court press off of the
Aneen
inbound.
even guarding the inbound here in the backcourt. Kingston Price getting it on the inbound. He'll bring up the ball for the Fordham offense. Kingston Price gets up across half court. Now trapped in the corner to Roar, top of the arc to Lesmond, left wing. Back up top to Christian Henry. He'll reset the offense. Henry jogging around the top of the arc, waiting for a moment. Now going left around in the core screen to Lesmond, left wing. Inside, middle of the paint, Abbas. Bodija inside over his defender. No good off the rim. And it'll be a flying Roar trying to get that rebound. Aneen gathered it, and it'll be a foul on Roar in the backcourt.
Again, you live with that. That's your 4th personal foul, not of the half of the entire game.
Wow.
And it comes on a loose ball where he had a legitimate shot to get it. He didn't get enough of the ball. He ends up crashing into a guy's legs. That's the cause for the whistle. But I think you take the burst of hustle over anything else, even if it comes with a foul.
Freshman Wills working up top on Kingston Price to Perez, left wing. Back to Stills up top. Now in the left corner. That 3 taken, no good. Raymond Baca, catch and shoot, doesn't go, a foul on the ground on the glass. It'll be on the Fordham Rams, and it'll stay on this side with the Ravens. It'll be inbounded under the basket from Franklin Pierce on the right side of the baseline. It'll be Jalen Duff, the junior, inbounding it by Kingston Price on the contest, and he'll go to the line for 2.
And again, Chris,
another Fordham foul, as little as there's been. That's now 2 in pretty quick succession.
So many fouls to give that in a situation
true.
where a guy gets wide open off of an inbound, you can just shove him in the back. And as long as he misses it, that's a good foul at this point in the game. It's funny, Mike Magpayo was asked twice in this game, once in the first half, once in the second half, each about midway through as Aneen misses on his first. How many fouls do we have to give? The answer both times has been 5, which is a substantial number.
A large amount.
Well, the foul to give situation really isn't in the picture for Fordham, for better or worse.
Aneen at the line makes that one, now gets his team back within 14, 60-46, 9:30 to go in this second half. Fordham's largest lead of the evening, 17, now dwindled down to 14. Pass in the right corner from Lesmond, Bas Bodija. Bodija guarded tightly by Baca. Back up top, Christian Henry. Christian Henry calls out a play verbally, deep on the right wing. Goes left around a Bosch screen. Now dancing on his defender, top of the arc to Roracor. Shimmies left, then goes right. Another dribble handoff to Lesmond. Same spot on the left wing. Drives inside, stops at the free throw line, bullies his defender, gets a floater off, doesn't get it to go, and Franklin Pierce has it on the defensive glass.
Ugly possession. The ball didn't get inside for the entirety of that possession.
Goodman catch and shoot, no good from on top of the arc. Baca on the offensive glass gets that one to go under heavy contest. Colgate boys, Colgate men's basketball team right behind them in the tunnel under the baseline. They'll play the Fordham Rams on Sunday afternoon as there's a dunk on the other end for the Fordham Rams by Bas Bodija. Be Jalen Duff, guarded by Kingston Price, moving right on the right wing. Back top of the key to Baca. Baca skip pass Aneen. Aneen driving on Lesmond. Shot no good at the rim. Christian Henry gets it bouncing, going the other way. He drives it quickly the other way. A few pump fakes under the rim leads to the and one. Christian Henry working hard, getting down the court, and gets rewarded with an and one for it.
Got hit in the eye. He didn't need the vision to put that one in off of a couple of pump fakes. The patience. He sat there for a full 2 seconds in the paint off of the fast break, let 2 guys fly by, let a third guy hit him in the face, and then he finishes the layup with some spin. Another big momentum play, and now Fordham going to try and bring in the big guns to finish this one off. We saw the second unit out there for a while. Guys we hadn't seen on the floor at the same time for a while. Kingston Price was there at the same time as Roracor and Bas Bodija. You haven't seen that unit really together, especially with Louis Lesmond as well. And then Chris Henry being really the only point guard as he misses on the N1.
Yeah, Christian Henry continuing to struggle at the line. Can't complete the three-point play. A three from the right wing is good. Perez on the heavy and large contest of Bas Bodija gets that 3 to go. Bas Bodija, the only non-starter in the game for the Fordham Rams right now. Akira Jacobs on the bench. Christian Henry, right to left crossover. Cross-court pass to Lesmond. Skip pass to Day Reeves. That 3, off back iron, no good. Defensive rebound came out to Duff. Long pass on the other end to Parker, who finishes at the rim.
Suddenly an 11-point game. It had been, I believe, 17.
Yeah, largest lead, 17 in this one for the Rams. Franklin Pierce creeping ever so closer. 7:30 to go in the second half. 64-53 lead for the Rams. Christian Henry blocked in the lane at the rim. Second effort also blocked. Nice effort from the Raven defense. That one ends up being out of bounds. I believe it'll stay with the Rams. Timeout called after the play.
Franklin Pierce has 6 blocks now on the day. Fordham has 3. It feels like the smaller guards,
yelling
Henry
going
and
in.
Reeves, have really struggled finishing.
Bas Bodija yelling going into the huddle. I'm not sure if you could pick it up on our mic. He was saying, kick the ball out.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of play inside. This Fordham team wants to be physical inside, but also there's certain versatility that you need to have in your offense.
Yeah, they've been a little inefficient on the interior on the day. They're 26 for 56 from the field. That's just 46.4%. Not a bad figure, but you think you should be living in the 50s, maybe even touching 60 against a lower division opponent. And as Bodija rightfully said, feels like at times the guards, especially Chris Henry, getting inside and then looking for their own shot more than looking for the kick out. And against a lower division team, more often than not, you're going to draw 2 defenders on the drive, and someone's going to be open. I think Reeves has done a solid job of finding that guy on the wraparound pass to find a guy on the other block, or even kick out to a 3, which Fordham is. They kind of strayed away from that game, I think, so far in the second half. Not getting enough kick-out looks. Need more of that to fully push this game out of the balance.
Yeah, and Fordham's been efficient from behind the three-point line. They just haven't taken a lot of them so far this afternoon. 41% from the three-point line for the Rams. They're only 7 for 17 from the three-point line. This Fordham team maybe could shoot more threes, have more volume in their offense from behind the arc in order to big up this offense just a little bit more.
But if you're going to take more threes, they need to be good threes.
Yeah.
I think a positive for
the
Fordham
quality
this
of the
half
shot's so important.
is they haven't taken bad quality threes in this half, as in they haven't taken contested shots off dribble shots from beyond the arc, late shot clock shots from beyond the arc, but they haven't found those in rhythm shots off of offensive rebounds, kickouts into wide open threes, out of paint touches, kickouts into wide open threes, off of rolls in which the guy goes under on the screen, decide to take a 3 or find the guy who's popping. They haven't done that a lot, and that's why, they've only taken 3 threes in the entire half so far. They took 14 in the first half. And yes, this isn't a great three-point shooting team. In fact, they're bottom 4 in the country entering today, shooting just 22%, and they don't shoot a ton of threes either. You'd expect them to take more. They average 26 three-point attempts per game. They've only taken 17 so far. You figure that averages out. Maybe they're going to take 22 in this game. But it feels like they've had so many good looks from 3 that they should be finding those looks more often. And by nature of the shot, you should be expanding your lead using that shot this half.
And Joe, even if they accelerate their pace of 3 shooting with this last 7:22 of the game, it still will be in contention for easily the lowest three-point total or three-point total taken in a half for the Rams this season.
It
Only
certainly
3
will.
so far in the half is just ridiculous.
It's ironic because so often you'd say, smaller opponent. Fordham's had smaller opponents in every game. Just get into the paint, get into the paint.
Right.
But when that's not working, how do you adjust mid-game and get those open threes?
Franklin Pierce will have it offensively after the timeout. 7:16 to go in the second half. Rams lead 64-53, 11-point lead for the Rams. Duff has it out of the right wing, fakes the dribble handoff, guarded by Green, to Caddick. Caddick has it to Parker, top of the arc. He'll take a 3, no good on the delayed contest from Lesmond. Offensive rebound. Franklin Pierce, second chance to Caddick on the baseline. Back out to Duff, left corner. Guarded tightly by Green, drives baseline, spins in the lane. Step back mid-ranger is good. The bag is impressive from Jalen Duff, and he's got Franklin Pierce back within single digits. 64-55, 6:42 to go in the second half. Day Reeves, nice job in the mid-range, gets the mid-ranger to go. Wide open, right around the free throw line, and got the shot to go.
When you need a bucket, call Day Reeves in the mid-range. He's money from there, especially when you're trying to stop the bleeding.
Duff out of the right wing, dribble handoff to Goodman. Goodman alternating wings to Parker. Parker driving out of the left of the lane. Kick out, right corner. Duff pump fakes, drives inside. Another kick out. This one to Perez. Pass in the corner. That 3 from Anine, no good. It's actually from Duff. Duff doesn't get it to go off the left side of the rim, and Fordham controls. Day Reeves controls. Goes left around a Bodoja screen. Now fakes right. Through the baseline, pass in the left corner 3 from Green, no good. Schulte there on the offensive glass, out to Lesmond, straight on, no good from the straight on 3. Catch and fire, no good from Lesmond. He continues to struggle from the field.
But 2 great looks, and you live with that possession every day of the week. You got a wide open look in the corner from Marcus Green, who's your best three-point shooter so far this season, and you get a decently open look for Louis Lesmond, who has struggled but should be making that shot.
Caddick wide open on the left wing, makes the 3. Wide, and I mean wide open for Gurgo Caddick, and he's got his team back within 8 now. 66-58, 5:24 to go in this second half. Day Reeves, top of the arc to Green, skip past to Lesmond. Lesmond, top of the arc, tried to get it into Bodoja. It's stolen from Parker. He jumped the pass. Parker, behind the back pass, left corner, Perez 3, it's good! What play from Parker on both ends of the floor, and Franklin Pierce has all the momentum in the world. It's now a 5-point lead, 66-61. The Fordham lead continues to dwindle.
A 10-2 run in the last 2:37, and the closest this team has been in the second half of play. And yes, they've played well, but Fordham on the execution side has really, really struggled. Even when they've started to get good looks late in the second half, they have not connected, and things start to look ugly against a team that you really should beat by 20 points. to keep the eyes off of you. You're still in the wake of that NJIT loss. If you want to prove that that's behind you and that was a fluke and this team is growing, you should be beating these teams badly. And in so many categories and on the scoreboard, you just aren't.
Anthony Parker, we got to talk about him for a second. The presence of mind to jump that pass, the lob pass inside to the post. He was all over it. And on the other end, I would say, Joe, the presence of mind, but also the onions to go for the behind-the-back pass in the corner led to a wide-open look. We talked about quality of looks and shots these two teams are getting. I don't know if you're going to get a better quality look than that.
No doubt, and it's odd coming from a guy who averages just over assist a game. He really doesn't look for other players. He looks to score, and whether the ball's going in or not, that's what he does. We talked about his last 2 games in this big-time skid. He had only 7 points in each of those games, 3 for 21 from the field, 0 for 11 from 3. But in those 2 games prior to that, he was nothing but the conference player of the week in the Northeast 10 Conference. He had 24 points and then 16 points. The team won both of those games flat out. When he's playing well in the offensive end, the team is playing well, and not just on offense. He's been everywhere defensively. Steals, getting out in transition, starting Franklin Pierce's best possessions with the ball in his hands.
You said it before, talking about him being everywhere. He's also on the floor at all times. No one on his team is within 7 minutes of the amount he's played so far tonight. 29 minutes played. That's almost this full game. No one on Fordham has more than 25. It seems Anthony Parker, not only offensively but defensively in all ways, seems to be the focal point of this Franklin Pierce team.
At 12 points, 5 of 14 shooting, 2 for 7 from 3. I told you he takes 7 3-pointers a game, but also 5 rebounds, 6 assists, which I bet is at least a season high, if not a career high. He's doing it in a variety of ways, not to mention the 4 steals, where these aren't just dead ball turnovers. These are live ball steals in which he's able to get the ball, push the pace in transition, and start making some plays. He's a guy who's not typically a playmaker, but he's ignited this Franklin Pierce run.
And Eric Perez made the 3, Joe, going into the timeout. He's done a really good job so far this afternoon as well. A 10 on the plus-minus. It's weird you see a player on a team trailing the whole game who has a double-digit plus-minus. He made the 3 to end going into the timeout there.
Yeah, and he'd been so quiet so far this season, been kind of that glue guy at the 3, but he shot 45% from 3 in conference play last year. He's showing that so far today. 3 for 4 from distance. Another guy who's keeping Franklin Pierce in it.
He was slotted into that starting lineup a few games ago for Aaron Aneen, and Aaron Aneen took a bench role as Eric Perez has started their last 2. Reeves out of the top of the arc, fouled on the floor. It'll be Gergo Kadek on the foul, the freshman getting him on the drive. And it'll be the 1-and-1 for the Rams. Or no, it'll be inbounded on the sideline for the Rams, directly opposite us on the floor. It'll be Day Reeves to take it out.
One away from the bonus, you would have loved for them to get to it sooner, because Franklin Pierce had 4 fouls through just 3 minutes, and it takes, 13 more minutes for them to commit their 5th?
Day Reeves has it top of the arc. Now in the middle of the paint, trying to spin, a jump ball called, and Anthony Parker hyped up after that play. It'll go back toward the Ravens.
Everything going their way. We had the jump ball earlier that went Fordham's direction, now Franklin Pierce's direction, and they have a chance to make this a 1-possession game, Chris.
Franklin Pierce, 66-61. Fordham lead, as you said, a 5-point lead for the Rams. 4:30 to go in this second half. Duff has it top of the arc. Parker getting it inside. Skip pass, right corner. That 3, an air ball. Perez couldn't get that one to go. And Fordham now has it offensively. Big possession for the Rams. Reeves going left around a Schulte screen. Has it top of the arc. Has space. Takes the 3 and hits it. Nothing but net for Day Reeves, the All-A-10 preseason player. And he hits a big shot for the Rams. Rams back out to an 8-point lead. 69-61. 4:03 on the second half clock.
We were asking where the 3 ball is. There it is.
And that 3 is good. Anthony Parker continuing his success that time from the left wing. Gets the 3 to go. And he has Franklin Pierce back within 5 now. 69-64. 3:45 in the second half. Kira Jacobs on the pass from Day Reeves. Pumps fakes from the left wing. Gets inside. Misses the left-handed layup. He's pissed at himself.
Great move. Everything but the finish from Jacobs. He posted right by a guy and just missed the wide-open lefty leg.
Jacobs with his hands in his head, running back on the other end defensively. Pass up top. Duff pump fakes. Drives on Reeve. Back out. Goodman gives it to Duff. Duff has it behind the arc on the right wing. Drives inside. Back to his defender. Takes the mid-ranger. It's no good. Offside rim. Roricourt is there on the defensive glass. So now Reeves controlling and bringing it up for the Rams. Drives to the middle of the lane, finishes at the right block, doesn't get the shot to go. Fordham bench wanted a foul, didn't get it. It'll be the Ravens having it offensively.
And defensively, Fordham suddenly showing the 2-3 zone that they went to against LIU. We haven't seen that in the first 36 minutes. And so far, Franklin Pierce has done a good job navigating through it.
It'll be Duff trying to get in that right corner. Ends up being disrupted. It'll be out of bounds and Fordham ball. Another turnover for Franklin Pierce and their offense, and a very untimely one at that.
We checked in on the turnover numbers at around the 10-minute mark, and Franklin Pierce had 18, which is around their game average. They hadn't committed one for the next 7 minutes until right now. That's been a backbreaker for Fordham.
Joe, a coincidence it was their best 7 minutes of the evening so far?
No doubt, taking care of the ball, and so many of their turnovers have been dead ball turnovers where Fordham can't really capitalize by going out in transition quickly, but they've just been ugly ones where the players aren't on the same page and there's a bounce pass that goes out of bounds. That's what we saw there, and that's where Franklin Pierce shows signs of being a lower division opponent, where their offense looks a little disjointed, not on the same page as to who's going where, what someone should do with the ball, especially between the role players on this team. But in that 7-minute span, they had it all figured out, and that's because they were forcing some turnovers off of Fordham, who's up to 10 all of a sudden, and they're getting out quickly off of rebounds. They're pushing the pace, and the ball, when in doubt, is in Anthony Parker's hands.
Fordham Rams, they scored at 4:13. It was Day Reeves on the score. Before that, aside from that one bucket, the Fordham Rams haven't scored since the 6:37 mark of this second half. The offense has gone relatively stagnant in this last couple minutes, and the defense of the Fordham Rams has not been able to carry the rest of the load. Franklin Pierce's offense has been kind of clicking on all cylinders. It's all started with Anthony Parker.
It's so bizarre because for a team that loves to get in the paint, they're not very efficient in the paint. We heard Mike Pio say over 70% of their shots are typically in the paint. Not so today. 50% of their shots have been threes, and not just that, they're connecting at a 41.4% rate, 12 for 29 from three. That's been what's kept them close. For a team that barely shoots any threes, they only average 17 attempts per game. They only average 6 makes a game. They've doubled those numbers, 12 for 29, and staring at just a 5-point deficit with 3 minutes to go.
And that number isn't going to surprise anybody. It's a good number, but slightly above average. That number was a lot lower before. That Franklin Pierce three-point percentage has continued to go up in the second half.
No doubt. The trends throughout the season dictate that this is a team that's going to push the pace and live in the paint, and they haven't done that. And maybe that's just the game plan adjusting to a much bigger opponent. How about we live on the perimeter? How about when they show us a 2-3 zone and they leave us some space on the wings for our shooters, let's just pull one. Anthony Parker took an NBA range 3 and drilled it. That's how we stand at a 5-point game.
Day Reeves has it after the timeout, going left around a Schulte screen, backs it back out left wing, kick in the corner, left corner 3 from Akira Jacobs, no good. Rikas Schulte fighting on the glass, he has it. Offensive rebound, an extra chance for the Fordham Rams offense. 2:28 on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock, 69-64 lead for the Rams, 5-point lead. Henry going left around a Schulte screen. Through the left of the lane, tried to kick it out to Reeves. It was intercepted. Reeves ended up getting it anyway. A spin around mid-ranger is no good. Akira Jacobs also secures the offensive rebound. A third chance for the Fordham offense offensively. Christian Henry slowing it down slightly, deep on the left wing, and I mean deep. Going right around a Schulte screen, up top. Day Reeves, guarded by Duff, left to right crossover. Through the left of the lane, he lost it. Picked up by Baca. Baca giving it to Goodman. Goodman up top to Perez. Duff will now control it on top of the Long Island net logo. He'll reset the offense. The junior, Jalen Duff, guarded by Day Reeves. Fake dribble handoff on the right wing. Fakes left, goes right. Passing to a cutting Goodman. Goodman out to Perez. Perez dribble handoff Parker. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Parker needs to go deep on the right wing, takes a long 3, doesn't get it to go. Henry there on the defensive glass. Fordham controls. Long possession for Franklin Pierce, and they don't get a bucket.
Gotta hit this. Game on ice here, up by 5, minute 14 to go. You need a dagger.
5-point lead for the Rams. Dagger time for Fordham. Christian Henry deep on the right wing, guarded by Duff. Now on the left wing. Pass to Day Reeves, wide open, top of the arc, he'll take a 3, it's good! Joe, you said it, dagger time for Day Reeves, the only player on this team with an All-A-10 mention, an All-A-10 candidate, and an All-A-10 13 preseason player gets it done for his Fordham Rams as advertised.
Breaks a 3-minute scoreless stretch to put this game on ice, and a game that was in the balance for way, way too long, a game that should have probably been over at halftime, a game that should have been over at the under 12 media timeout, a game that somehow Franklin Pierce stayed in until now, an 8-point game with 80 seconds to go. Not quite out of it yet as Franklin Pierce, but with Day Reeve at the helm, you have to have him taking the final shot. He does so, and he gets this team into the range where you can be a little bit more comfortable after being so uncomfortable for so much of this half.
Yeah, Fordham Ram fans had to feel a little discomfort at the first 75% of this game, but going into this last couple minutes, the last stages, the way they've been able to bear it down and close this gap, get this win, has to be impressive from the perspective of Fordham fans.
I'm not so sure it's impressive. I think you should expect this against a lower level opponent when you have so much talent on the floor. This team has 34 years of D1 experience now, with Jace Howard having left the team. Franklin Pierce has 0. You should be able to finish out these games, and you should be able to put them away, not in crunch time when there's 2 minutes left, but when there's 12 minutes left, when there's 15 minutes left. The bench guys should be in the game right now, and they're not.
Franklin Pierce's last-ditch effort was a good one. They got this game within 5 points at one point, as Parker gets it on the pin down on the right wing. Parker guarded tightly by Lesmond, Harvard's Defensive Player of the Year last season. Parker dumping it off to Baca. Baca gets it to go on the left side of the rim. Nice play there from Baca and Parker. 43 seconds on the game clock. Still a 6-point lead for the Rams. Rams trying to get it out of the backcourt. It's stolen. Goodman steals it. Back out to Parker. Parker driving, takes the foul, and heavy contact from Louis Lesmond. And the clock will stop at 36.6. Franklin and Pierce will go to the line.
A brutal sequence from Fordham. You allow the basket where Parker, who is not a playmaker, somehow has 6 assists in this game, is able to go late after going up for a shot, quick dump off, find your big man in Baca. He's able to finish it home, and then a steal off the inbound. You have to be able to break a full court press from a D2 team.
Fordham has struggled with the press all season long, to your point. Fordham team doesn't turn the ball over very much, but the full court press has done well against this Fordham team offensively. Now be Anthony Parker at the line. Who else at the line for this Raven team makes the first as a part of a pair? Parker with 16 points tonight, 3 for 9 from the three-point line, 6 for 16 from the field. Has also been the main vessel for this Franklin Pierce team down the stretch. Seems like he touches the ball every possession. Pierce getting ready to take his second free throw, 1 for 1 at the line so far tonight. That was on his first. Good on his second as well. 72-68 once again. Now a 4-point lead for the Fordham Rams. Smallest lead in the second half the Rams have had. Day Reeves has it in the backcourt, is fouled out of the backcourt by Aneen. He'll be on the floor. Fordham Rams will go to the line for the one-on-one.
You're in the bonus. 1-and-1 time for Fordham. They really should be in the double bonus at this point. As I said, Chris, they had forced 4 personal fouls from Franklin Pierce in 3 minutes, and they didn't get a 5th for another 13 minutes. So that's one of these many areas where Fordham should have pulled away in this game and didn't. Just so many missed opportunities for Fordham, but still a chance to pull away. And Anthony Parker, by the way, has been clamping down on his wrist for the past minute straight. It's a guy who just went to the line, or maybe it's his knee, his left knee, that he's just pushing against, but he's staying in the game because he's been the one guy carrying this Franklin Pierce squad.
Yeah, Parker, the guy who makes the thing go, as a smart man once said. Day Reeves at the line. His first is good. Anthony Parker, too vital for this team to come off the floor, but as you said, Joe, it looks like to be in a lot of discomfort. He's on the bottom block on the left side from Day Reeves' point of view. He now switches to the alternate right side on the right block and still showing more discomfort.
It looks like
he's going to box out the much smaller Christian Henry instead of Rika Schulte. Yeah, it might be his hand. Reeves on the second. No good off back iron. Schulte's there on the offensive glass. Second chance for Fordham. Tried to cross-court pass. There's a bit of miscommunication between Akira Jacobs and Rika Schulte, and that'll be out of bounds. Franklin Pierce gets the ball back. Franklin Pierce with the ball, down 5 with 28.3 on the game clock. A real opportunity for Franklin Pierce and the Ravens. Duff, top of the arc, deep on the right wing. Goes left around a screen, guarded by Green. Going left of the lane, spinning, taking, is good from the mid-range. Jalen Duff, what a play to get open, and what a play to execute on the shot. And Jalen Duff gets his team within 3 points now. The smallest lead Fordham's had all second half long, 73-70, Fordham leads. Just 19 on the game clock.
19 on the game clock.
19
You're in the
seconds on the game
bonus,
clock.
but only 1-and-1 territory. So the ball needs to get in Day-Day Reeves' hand. He's your best free throw shooter. You have to imagine that Franklin Pierce is going to foul. The shot clock is turned off here. They're probably going to do the full court press, which has been really successful when they've shown it late in the first half and so far in the second half. If you're able to break that press, expect the foul. But until you bring it across the half-court mark, I expect them to pull out all the punches to try and get a steal here. Should they do so, they have a chance to tie this game, Chris. You couldn't have asked for more than that if you're Franklin Pierce with 19 seconds to go.
Yeah, one of the elements we've talked about all game long, it's the turnover discrepancy. Turnover discrepancy getting shorter and shorter. Franklin Pierce with 19, Fordham with 13. So Fordham still trailing Franklin Pierce in the turnover battle, but that gap getting closer and closer.
And again, Franklin Pierce had 18 with about 10 minutes to go, and now they have 19 with 19 seconds to go. They've just taken
They've
the care
really
of the ball
bared down, Joe.
much, much better down the stretch when they needed to.
What makes such a stark difference in an offense? Going from turning over the ball constantly to not turning over the ball at all in the most important part of the game.
I think it's they've gotten the possessions that they've wanted. They've been able to get out quickly. They've had the ball in Parker's hand. His usage rate has been really high in the second half. He's the guy who's been taking care of the ball best for them. And they've just started to integrate better. They're missing one of their point guards in Kevonte Williams. So without him, I think it took them some time to get used to the play.
Fordham going to have to break the press coming out of the inbound. 19.4 on the game clock. Christian Henry in the backcourt on the baseline, inbounding this one. Tries to get to Day-Day Reeves. He can't. He's got to call a timeout. He does. Rika Schulte ended up being open at the very end. Ended up calling a timeout before that. Christian Henry with a little bit of a smirk after that play. He gestures to Rika Schulte, a little too small, just enough time. Called that timeout. And this Fordham Ram team in general, even going toward that inbound, it seems a little frantic in the moments they really can't be.
No doubt. And Day-Day Reeves is the guy who calms you down in those moments. We've seen that time and time again this season, but in this game, every moment where Fordham has been punched in the mouth, the punch back hasn't been a haymaker, but it's been Day-Day Reeves controlling the ball, slowing down the pace, and getting a shot in the mid-range. The situation here is, though, you're probably not going to be looking at that. It's just getting an inbound, getting a clean inbound, getting it into the half court, forcing them to foul where you can go to the line and really put this game away. But again, Chris, a 1-and-1 situation. So if they foul and you miss, it's still a one-possession game. But first, you have to avoid a full-court press that just forced a steal to get us this close. And Fordham clearly struggling. Chris Henry just called a timeout on that inbound.
And, Joe, not even breaking the press, which Fordham Rams have struggled to do. After the press, if they succeed in what they're trying to do and get the ball in, they're going to have to go to the free throw line. Big free throws coming up for the Fordham Rams, a Fordham Ram team that has really struggled this season from the free throw line. Maybe going to take some of the biggest free throws of the season coming up in a moment.
Yeah, 64.5% from the free throw line so far this season. That's 325th in the country, so that's bottom 40. And so far today, 6 for 13, 46%. Schulte is 2 for 2, but otherwise every single player who's gotten to the line has missed a free throw.
Fordham Rams in the same spot in the backcourt. Christian Henry on the left side of the baseline in the backcourt to inbound this one. 19.4 on the game clock. Shot clock turned off. Fordham Rams going to have to inbound this in the backcourt. They do. Day-Day Reeves has it. Avoids the trap. Christian Henry now has it in the backcourt. He's fouled in the backcourt. It'll be Aaron Aneen picking up the foul. Christian Henry going to have to go to the line and take these free throws. Franklin Pierce working quickly, seeming like Christian Henry was the guy they wanted to foul.
No doubt, and you could tell Henry kind of grimaced a little after that foul. He wanted to get the ball back to Reeves, but he wanted to be very careful not to turn it over. Henry just a 68.8% shooter. Last year, he's just 1 for 3 so far today.
Yeah, 52% so far this season. Coming into this game, 11 for 21 on the year. Has really been disappointed in himself from the line. Christian Henry, a type of player that thinks he should be a lot better from the line. Nonetheless, it's going to be Franklin Pierce taking a timeout. Franklin Pierce wanting to talk it over, so both teams will. It'll be a 30-second timeout. 15.5 on the game clock. 73-70 Fordham lead. As you said, Joe, just too close to comfort for this Fordham Ram team, especially against non-D1 competition.
What we've seen time and time again is Fordham has recovered from that really brutal season opening loss to NJIT is that they find a way to pull away in the second half when they need to, and they've relied on their experience. And in a game where they have all of the experience compared to a team that it's virtually none at the D1 level. In fact, they have none at the D1 level. Yes, they've had a lot of guys who played in D2 ball, have played community college ball, played JUCO ball, so plenty of guys with basketball experience, but in terms of D1 finishing out games experience, Franklin Pierce just doesn't have that. And for whatever reason, I think communication is maybe part of it. That's something Mike Magpayo's talked about so much. This team is really quiet. He's still working on getting them to communicate better.
Especially with their leader, Day Reeves.
And there's no reason why a team with so much experience, 3 decades of combined experience compared to a team with 0, the discrepancy on the scoreboard just needs to be greater in this situation.
Christian Henry with some big free throws. He's going to shoot 15.5 on the game clock, 73-70 Fordham lead. Going to try and make this 2 possessions. Henry gets it to go, nothing but net. Instills a lot of confidence in Fordham Ram fans seeing that one go. Good on the first, 74-70, 15.5 on the game clock. Henry going to try and make this a 5-point lead. He doesn't. Off front rim. Rebound by Parker. Parker's going to take it himself out of the left wing. Going right, avoiding defenders. No good on his shot, but Baca on the putback. Raymond Baca slamming it on the putback. And his team, Franklin Pierce, now within 2 points after that slam. Fordham going to try and get it in the backcourt. They do to Lesmond. Lesmond going to be fouled in the backcourt. And yet another Fordham Ram who struggled at the line, going to the line with a lot on the line. 6.8 on the game clock. 74-72, Rams lead.
And it would be fitting if Louis Lesmond could find a way to put this game away. On a 1-on-1 situation, you've gone 1 for 4 from the free throw line, 0 for 8 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. A guy who hadn't turned over the ball all season to date has 4 turnovers so far today. It's been the worst of games for Louis Lesmond, a chance to make up for it at the stripe.
Lesmond on his first. No good off back rim. Franklin Pierce has a chance. Anthony Parker with 4 seconds left. Pass in the right corner. Wide open 3 for Perez. No good. Fordham survives right at the end. Perez with a wide open 3 to win this one at the buzzer. No good. Fordham Rams just barely win this one.
That might be the worst feeling win you'll have all season. Nothing but head shakes on the bench from Fordham. There is nothing to celebrate here, nothing to high-five about. A disappointing game in which you are bailed out by a missed 3 at the last second. And not just a missed 3, Chris. I'm talking wide open on the near side corner.
And Joe, it had been a theme throughout other parts of the game. Anthony Parker driving inside, receiving a lot of attention, and then kicking it out to Eric Perez. We saw it on a 3 in the earlier installments of this game, and that one, if it went in, would have just been wild.
And what is it? Communication for this team in a situation where Anthony Parker drives inside. He draws the entire Fordham defense, and there's no communication. It leaves a guy wide open on the near side corner. Franklin Pierce should have won this game, and that's a tough thing to swallow if you're Fordham.
Tough thing to swallow for the Fordham Rams. I don't know if I've seen a team more disappointed after a win than that one. We're going to catch up with assistant coach of the Fordham Rams, Ryan Honlin. He's going to come over to us now. Coach Highland will take a headset and we'll chat.
Sorry, guys.
Coach, how are you? Heading into that one, a win right at the very second. This team took you to the last second. What did you say about the resolve of your team toward the end? Was it a bit disappointing how they played down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we got to be better down the stretch. A lot of credit to Coach and Franklin Pierce. They did a good job, played fearlessly towards the end, and we could have done a better job executing the way we wanted to.
Yeah, and the free throw situation seems to be one of the biggest problems for this Fordham team. What is it about free throws that become so important at the latter stages of these games?
Yeah, it's how you got to close out games, and we have some older guys, some veteran guys, and disappointing. We got to knock down those free throws and steal a game that we should have won.
And what do you want to say
earlier?
And going ahead, Coach, for not only tonight but the rest of these 2 games here in Montreal, what do you want to see from that group of leaders on your group, whether it's the older guys or the guys who are just more vocal? What do you want to see from them going forward?
Yeah, I think it's challenging to play 3 games in a row, and it's going to test their resolve a little bit. And it's great to get a win tonight, but there's a ton of stuff us as a coaching staff want to see better. Our communication needs to be better. Our attention to detail needs to be better. We got mixed up in transition way too much today, and gave up way too many threes, obviously. So things that we need to improve upon that we're emphasizing as coaches, and I think these guys are capable of doing it. So
And, Coach, just quickly, looking at Albany tomorrow, it's going to be your matchup very quickly, a quick turnaround for this Fordham team. What does that challenge look like?
Yeah, Coach Killings does a great job, and this Albany team is tough. The film we've watched on them, that's definitely one of the bigger takeaways. They're tough, they're athletic, really scrappy. He's done a great job coaching them. We'll be prepared. It's a quick turnaround, clearly for us and them, which is nice.
Yeah.
But we got a great group, and we're excited to play against them.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Coach
Appreciate you
Ryan
guys.
Holland, assistant coach of the Fordham Rams, helping us out after the game. We appreciate him and his time. And Joe Henry coming back on the headset. Got to be joined by Coach Ryan Holland there, the John Jay College head coach. Done a fantastic job there. Done a fantastic job with the Fordham Rams. Looked a little felt and looked a little disappointed in that post-game interview. You can't blame him. I would be confused if he was any other way. That disappointment has to be radiating off this Fordham team, even in a W.
And we saw it with the body language after the win. This wasn't a celebratory occasion as a win normally is. And Mike McPio says, look, winning is hard. What I have written on the whiteboard in the biggest lettering possible is the number 5. It's getting win number 5. They do it, but in the worst of ways against a team that they really should have been beating by a lot more. It's not to say that this Franklin Pierce team isn't better than in years prior, but this is a team that lost by, I think, 39 to Assumption, another D2 team and a good D2 team, just a couple of weeks ago. The expectation is that you should be winning these games by a significant margin, and that these games aren't just games where you're fighting to win, but where you're fighting to learn more about your team and grow together and build the chemistry in the way that they have done in their wins this season, like against LIU and against the other lower division opponents in those Mount St. Mary and Manhattanville games. Yes, those wins don't mean a lot. You know you're going to beat a D3 team, but to build some chemistry, to get something going from downtown the way they did against Manhattanville, to just find a way to be more cohesive as a unit, and as Coach Ryan Highland said, be more communicative. It's something this Fordham team has struggled to do so much, and it leaves a lot to be desired for tomorrow. The good news, Chris, we get to go right back at it 24 hours later, and we get to see what kind of improved resolve Fordham could show.
Fordham Rams win it in Montreal, their first game of the Northern Classic. They win it narrowly, and I mean narrowly, Joe Henry. This Fordham Ram team up to Franklin Pierce had a chance, a final possession offensively. Eric Perez from the right corner had a wide open 3 to win this one at the buzzer. He misses, and Fordham survives. Fordham wins this one 74-72 from the Place Bell Arena. We'll be right back here at the Place Bell Arena for their game again tomorrow night. Back-to-back nights, 3 games in a row for the Rams. That one tomorrow against the University of Albany is at 7:30. For now, for us, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, at the Northern Classic at Place Bell Arena, the Fordham Rams win this one narrowly, 74-72 over D2's Franklin Pierce Ravens. Want to thank, of course, my partner, Joe Henry, and all of you for listening. Have a great rest of your night.